I'm live. We did it. Oh no. Reno lost 2 T6s. That's terrible news. Good evening, everyone. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to the Dead Dodge Garage super exciting Sunday streaming special. I'm in Butte, Montana. Not at home at all. So to answer your question, Stacy, no. But I drove through a whole lot of it today. Howdy, Wiggy. How's it going? Donnie, Dan Berg, Amy Harville, Rich Jordan. So many names that look familiar. Donnie has to call it an early night. It's been a kind of crappy day. That sucks, man. Good luck. I don't have a guitar with me, but instead, I'm going to do this, and the audio is going to suck, but you're just going to have to deal with it. This is a clip of me playing slide guitar. Hold on. I'm being joined by Tom Herger, just FYI. Logistical nightmare. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oops. That's the wrong. Man, I'm good at stuff. Anyway, I'm going to play a clip of me playing slide guitar yesterday, and then I'll explain that. Man, I can't hold anything steady. I didn't say it was going to be good. I just said I'd play it. Anyway, you'll see that in an upcoming video. What is up? What's everybody doing? Wiggy spent some time wire wheeling some rusty Jeep wheels today. Hit them with the rust cutter. Seemed to work okay. Anybody got any opinions on this stuff? I don't know. I've never used it. How's it going, YT viewer? Rooster is here. Snowmug VX. Tony Sears says, greetings from South Dakota. I might have driven by you like today. All right, I'm bringing in my co-host. Hi, Tom.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going?
Good.
The audio is not horrible. Is there a horrible echo?
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, the Mac looks pretty good, so it should be fine. You're turned the other way.
Oh, should go the other way?
Probably. Yeah, there you go.
Is that better? There we go.
Oh, the flavor of the day is Western Cider's Poor Farmer Hard Cider, a product of Montana.
I got a Freem Jammy. Never tried it. I like Freem. It's one of my favorite breweries. So,
Rad. So anyway, like I mentioned, I'm in Butte, Montana, and I'm on a crazy adventure. You want to tell them the story of how I ended up where I am, or should I?
You go ahead. It's
right,
your
cool.
story. You're doing
All right, fine. So, as you guys know, we do these live streams every Sunday, and a lot of you are here for all of them. So some of you might even remember that, like, maybe 2 months ago, 6-8 weeks ago, someone asked, hey, what do you think a 69 Charger 318 is worth in the live stream? And I kind of gave him an idea. A couple weeks after that, Tom got an email. Would you like to buy my 69 Charger 318? I hear you like to drive all over the country and buy Mopars and parts and that sort of thing. Are you interested in this car? And he sent over some pictures.
It's a 69 Charger. I mean,
well, obviously we want to buy it, but he sent over some pictures and we're like, yep. Mm-hmm. So Tom mentioned this, and I said, first off, it's hilarious because he emailed Tom instead of me. But
thanks, Mike.
Yeah, but that's okay because I couldn't have bought it anyway. But it all worked out. But it's also hilarious because Tom said, so there's this Charger in Chicago that I think I'm going to buy. And I said, if there's a Charger in Chicago, I'll go get it. So that happened. So
Here we are.
Friday, I flew into Chicago. I landed in Chicago 6 p.m.-ish. Mike, the seller, picked me up from the airport, drove me back to his place, picked up the car, kind of messed with it a little bit, fixed the dash lights. There had to be something broken. So I fixed the dash lights. His wife bought me a pizza, which was amazing. And then I hit the road and I drove 6 hours. Is that right? Something like 6 hours. And I visited our friend Rooster with Rooster's Restos. I got to his place at 4:15 in the morning. He rolled out the red carpet, an extreme level of hospitality. There was a guest room. There were dogs to pet, guitar to play. He made me breakfast the next morning. Yeah, it was awesome. And luckily, I was there because the Charger spit out the fuel pump. Like that morning, there was just gas pouring out everywhere. So we fixed it at his place.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I haven't seen the car yet. Jamie's gonna be back tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to it. But it's a really nice car, but it only had about 1,000 miles on it in 15 years. So it just, Jamie didn't have many problems, but it's mostly just stuff from sitting. So
I have a picture. So he zeroed the odometer when he restored it. And it read, when I picked it up, 967 miles. And it now reads 2,500 or 2,600. I'm not sure what it said when I rolled in here, but yeah. So I'm driving 2.5 times as many miles as it has driven in 15 years in 3 days. And that isn't necessarily something that you should do, but I'm doing it and it's awesome. So,
well, Jamie's very well qualified for something like this. And and we talked to the owner, Mike, and I could tell that car was his baby. It was very well maintained. We saw pictures of it, and there's always a risk to doing this, but
of course,
Roadkill does this, but they have a minivan following them.
Yeah, I don't have a minivan.
Doesn't have any support.
I have me, and I have an iPhone, and I have some luggage I borrowed from Tom, full of spare points, condenser cap, rotor, voltage regulator, all the basic crap, like 3 ballast resistors, just in case. And I've got tools, and I've got fender covers, and I'm fairly well prepared. And then, of course, Mike loaded me up with even more stuff. So there's more spare ignition parts. And the sun keeps moving. I have to try and... There we go. All right.
Yeah, I got the light in my office, too. I'm not really sure.
Well, this is just that's quite something. The sun is setting out there. It's beautiful here, actually. Really, really nice. Drove through the Black Hills of South Dakota today. Gorgeous. Loved it. I allegedly went and saw Mount Rushmore. My entire reasoning for driving up there was to get a picture of the Charger with Mount Rushmore in the distance, but I missed the pull-off spot. There's one good pull-off spot going up the hill where you can see it clearly, and I thought, oh, no, there's got to be more spots. No. And then when I came out and went back down, it was full of other people because I got there early, but just early enough, and I went, hell with it, got to hit the road. So yeah, I drove counting that, 9 hours and 20 minutes today.
It's a good day.
In an unknown car. I've been driving for the last 3 days straight.
And how fast were you driving, Jamie?
I would never drive any faster than the speed limit. That's for damn sure. I slowed down today. I've been going 80, but the speed limit's also 80, so that's fine. Allegedly, I was cruising at 90 for a while.
Well, and we're pretty sure it has highway gears in it. So
2.76s. Oh, it's got long legs. I will say it's gutless is the wrong word. I've fiddled with the timing a little bit. I know 100% it doesn't have full throttle, 100%. But I just, better gas mileage, right? So I've kind of tweaked it a little bit. Oh, the idle screws were set at 5.5 turns out. So I set them at 2.5, and it's much happier. It actually idles right now. But there's no accelerator pump, so that's also a problem. I could try and find a BBD carb kit in the middle of Montana, but
it's not worth it. You probably just make it worse at this point.
No, I'm really good with those. But yeah, anyway, and I still have a suspicion that the points are set wrong, but you know what? It hits the highway, it cruises beautiful. So, yeah, I've got a lot of miles down already. Yeah, this sun thing is just going to keep getting worse. Oh, here we go. All right, it's fixed forever. So, yeah, driving across the country, it's when I looked at it on the Google Maps, it said 2,400 miles from the greater Chicago area back home. So, for some reason, as I've updated my trips per day, the mileage count seems to be going down. So I don't know what that's about, but
It's amazing. It's magic.
I can tell you this: the speedo is dead accurate.
That's good.
Awesome.
That is like when stuff leaves Rocket Restorations. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like our speedometers are always perfect. Like I spend way too much time getting those perfect because it's one of my big pet peeves in driving a car if the speedos are off.
Yeah. It's inconvenient. No, this one's fantastic. I mean, it's great. I mean, everything works. The washer pump works. It gave one little spray on the windshield, and then the nozzle's clogged up, and I tried to blow through the driver one, and that didn't work. And it has a factory radio. It doesn't work. It's got one in the glove box, like a 90s Tastic.
The booster's bad, right? Probably.
Oh, yeah, the brake booster. There's like no power assist. Basically.
And then it had no dash lights, and you always think it's the dimmer, but it was a fuse.
Yeah. I played with the dimmer for way too long. I looked at the fuse, looked perfect, and then I got my power probe and I checked the fuse, and it was bad. So I replaced the fuse and hit the road.
Power probe for the win.
Oh, the power probe is the best. The headlight aim. I mean, again, he didn't drive this car. I mean, yeah, he knew the headlights worked, but he never drove it on a road trip at night.
Well, he never drove it at night. Like that's they're always driving during the
this.
summer, especially in Chicago. Like you're not taking that in the salt. Like there's no way.
No. So yeah, so I had to aim the headlights twice, and now I can mostly see. So that's much improved. But yeah, fuel pump, dash lights, aiming the headlights. Oh, and it's been going through about a quart of oil a day, which is weird because I don't see any on the back bumper. Like it's not doing that thing. I see no smoke behind me, but it's going somewhere. So yeah, it's 318. It's old. He did not rebuild the engine. He detailed it. It looks really nice under the hood, actually. But yeah, I guess I should go through some comments.
There's some good ones.
Rad. All right, we'll get there.
I get the second screen going off my computer, so I can actually read the comments while I'm on this. Otherwise, I can't read the comments.
You're way too high tech. My friend Mike Miskey is here with us. Hello, Mike. How's it going? I'm in Butte, Montana. My sister says she wasn't sure if I'd actually be on. I worked it out. It's all good. Rodney Brand is here from McDonough. I'm assuming it's McDonough, Georgia. Stage Zero Jason is here, and he says Butte's where the choke crapped out on the 79, the Not Little Red. So he did like this same road trip, but in reverse. But he ended in Wisconsin he's almost by a Great Lake, I believe. So almost exactly the same trip from my house back here in that 79 step-side truck I had, which was awesome. That was also like almost winter last year. Like there was snow on the ground all over the place. Rich Jordan says, Montana's a place I always wanted to go visit, maybe live. I like it. I'll tell you what, I was really impressed with South Dakota. Never been there. Really liked it. Dan Tupper's here, of course. How's it going, Dan? Donnie will stick around for a little bit. How's it going, Dodge 440? How's it going, Dave? Dave finally bought his dream duster, and he's all excited. It's a yellow 71 V24 340 automatic. Allegedly, that is Rooster's guitar, yes. Dan Burke got here early. Bell James says, welcome to Butte. Have a nice drive home. Butte is within striking distance. Yes, I'm getting home tomorrow. No. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I will say I got AAA for this trip. I've never had it in my... Oh, this is wood. I have never had AAA in my life, and I got it for this road trip.
It's a good idea.
And because I got it, I haven't needed it. If I hadn't gotten it, that's how that works.
You have points, you'll never need the points. You have a rotor, you'll never need the rotor. You have a cap, you'll never need the cap.
That's right, dude. And I have like, after leaving his place, I have like 4 ballast resistors. I will never need a ballast resistor. In fact, I'm quite excited to make this entire trip without losing a ballast resistor. And the other thing is, someone was just commenting about how people have told them, oh, you can't use carburetors at high elevation or whatever. Dude, I just went over a mountain at 6,500 feet or higher. I just crossed the Continental Divide with a Carter BBD. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It just leans out a little bit, but you won't be there though.
I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy says, Butte's awesome. Stopped and checked out the old downtown on our way back from Yellowstone. Nice.
Yeah, yes. That's cool. In downtown Butte, there's actually an old dealer in town that has like this tile floor that's like the Dodge Brothers.
Whoa.
I stopped by there a couple of years ago. My buddy told me where it was. I mean, it's like tile in the ground. Like it's not really a sign, but it's super cool.
That is cool.
Butte's old, and like that was a very rich town back in the day. So like there was a lot of good stuff there back in the day.
Does this look better? Nah, I like it the other way. I like being in widescreen. Rooster says, I know nothing. Nothing. Nice. Everybody say hi to Tom. Did I properly introduce Tom with Rocket Restorations? I think you guys know who he is.
Yeah, I'm actually doing YouTube videos now. I mean, I had a channel, but I'm actually doing them. So
yeah,
I saw Dan gave me a comment to speak up. Thank you. Feedback is appreciated. I'm not very good at this. So
yeah. Oh, by the way, 4 different people have told me to tell you to speak up.
Okay, fair enough.
I forgot.
Okay, thanks.
Super helpful.
But my channel is Rocket Resto. Rocket Resto is my
at Rocket Resto, or just search for Rocket Restorations. He's now the one that has almost 1,000 subscribers, unlike the other guy who has like 3.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, any ideas for videos is good too. I'm trying not to repeat what Jamie's doing, but that's inevitable. But I'm trying not to repeat. We're trying to be unique in what we do. So
there's some overlap, but for one thing, I mean, it's a different approach. And we're completely different characters, so it's not like watching the same video. I mean, we've already done videos on the same cars. They are not the same video. And it's cool because you do the thing I don't do, which is go in depth on equipment, factory options, fender tags, like the kind of stuff that real Mopar nerds want to see that I always skip over. So it's cool.
It's not your strength. That is my strength. So everybody has different strengths and weaknesses.
I mean, I'm familiar with like engines. That's my happy place, and the little bits that make the cars work, but the option codes, I just have never cared about those. So
I should like the stream, huh?
Remember like the stream. If you can't tell, my voice and sinuses are like just trashed. And my right ear, what's that?
We're at 70 people already. That's not bad.
Yeah, 70 people. My right ear has not yet recovered from the plane ride. I have only flown commercial round trip once before this trip. I was like, to some people, maybe not people here, but to some people, like driving an unknown car 2,400 miles across the country with no support crew might sound terrifying. No, not at all. It was terrifying? Getting on a plane. That was the part of this that I was like, just do it. Just do it. It's fine. I'm not a flyer. I'd rather drive. I'd rather be in control of my own destiny. But yeah, it was worth it.
I don't like flying either, but it's a necessary evil, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It was fine. But what I was going to say is my right ear has not recovered. It's getting better. But yeah. The other DDG, Brian, is with us. It says, what up, Jamie? I'm still thrashing for No Name. Yeah, you sent me some pictures of your card the other day. It's looking good.
Oh, Mike just commented. He's watching the live.
Oh, is he? Hey, Mike. Thanks for being here. Thank you again for the hospitality. Seriously, that was just so cool. I can't thank you enough. The car is doing great. I was going to message you in a little while after the live. I was kind of focused on doing that, but I am in Butte, Montana. I've been making miles. I really haven't had any problems, except allegedly I almost ran out of gas. And I almost ran out of gas because I had only been like 220 miles, and I thought for sure I was going to get back to I-90. It didn't work out that way.
Oh, I got a guest in here. You want to go on the live real quick, Bradley?
Hey, Brad.
This is Bradley.
Hey.
Oh, thank you, buddy. And tell mommy I fed Joey too, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. He brought me a hamburger. How nice of him.
Dude, I'm going to have to go find my own hamburger.
Thanks, Bradley.
I don't know where I'm going to find a hamburger. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I rolled into, where was I yesterday? Rapid
City.
I was in Rapid City, South Dakota. Yeah, which I really liked.
It's funny how I remember this stuff and I'm not on the road trip.
No, but you're tracking my progress. I have no idea, dude. I'm so like, I've been on the road, hauling butt and making miles and watching and going wherever Google tells me to go, which is basically just down I-90. Although it detoured me on 212 out of South Dakota across a tiny corner of Wyoming. So I did hit Wyoming and then into Montana. And it's like a back road 2-lane, which is cool, but fewer gas stations, a little less room for error. So, but it shaved off a ton of time. Anyway, going where Google tells me.
And I've been that way a lot of times. Like I've traveled that part of the country a lot.
Yeah.
Going after dealerships and cars and parts and all sorts of fun stuff.
Lovejoy dropped in and then he said, "You're in South Dakota? You should have swung a little farther south and come see me." I know. I was thinking about that as I was rolling through. And there are a lot of things I wish I could have done on this trip. Mo Party was like, I could have gotten to Mo Party in the same amount of driving as to get to Rooster's Place, but then it adds it's a 6-hour drive, but it actually adds 10 cutting up the country that way. And I'm in foreign territory. I don't have friends along the way. You know, there's just a lot more uncertainty there. And Mrs. Jamie didn't want me on the road that long. So the decision was made to just cannonball home. And that's fine. I'm good with it. I'm having a good time. I'm tired. My voice is ruined. And today, it hasn't been sunny, but the camera's backwards. I sunburned the crap out of my neck today. Just this side of my neck. My arm's fine. I always have the farmer tan. But yeah, it's not ideal.
Trucker sunburn.
Oh, big time. The trucker arm. I did realize eventually that because it's an AC car, it's got tinted glass, factory tinted glass, so I could roll it up and I have better protection from the sun. And the vent works extremely well. The AC isn't charged, but the vent works very, very well. The problem with that is dust blows into my eyes. Oh, also, we're going to have to reseal the windshield. I've been washing the windshield to clean the bugs off. And after the last time I did that, I hit the highway and I realized the leftover cleaning agent was coming under the windshield gasket and onto the dash.
Wow.
Cool. So yeah, that gasket's dried out. It kind of, it looks a little funky in a couple places. So, but I've never seen that before. That was kind of cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I got to do the windshield on the turquoise Charger too in the next couple weeks here. So
yeah, this one's brand new. Hopefully Trev can just like pop it out and redo it. Hopefully, we'll see.
He's pretty good at that.
Yeah. Idaho Lineman says, "Hope the road trip's going well. Passover Butte is awesome. Wish I could stay on, but just drop by to say hello." So he's long gone then because that was a bit ago. But thanks for dropping in. Snowmonk is getting familiar. Yes, very. David Bisnet says, "What are your thoughts on a 904 and a 68 B body? Good trans, bad trans, durable or not reliable?" I can answer this. I've done hold on. How many miles have I been? 12 or 1,300, I think, in the last 3 days. It's something like that. Or is it more? Maybe it's 1,400 miles.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The point is I've been a lot of miles with a 904 in a 69 Charger behind a 318, and it's doing great. So
okay, so here's a question. So is 69 904, 68 727?
I think so, because yours is a 727.
Is it? Right? I don't remember. I don't remember looking at it.
I'm pretty sure it is. See, this is where I wasn't clear when I was talking to I don't know if it was when I was talking to Mike. Yeah, it was when I was talking to Mike. He said it was a 904, and I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "I think so." And he was right. It is a 904.
Well, 69 is when they started cheaping everything up. They went to 8 1/4 instead of 8 3/4 and 904s. But I don't know because that's a good question because we're putting that the turquoise Charger, we're putting the 360 Magnum in from Austin 71 Hemi Challenger conversion.
Right.
And I really hope it's a 77 because I don't know if I have a small box 727 to put in there if it's not. So
I think it is. So I think that must be a 69 thing. I could swear 68 is still a 727, but I don't know for sure. I don't have that nailed down. Oh, okay. Speaking of 69 Chargers, our friend Ralph dropped in and said, "Hi, Mopar fans. Did you buy that 69 Charger?" Yes, that guy did. Look, I even got the direction right. I pointed the wrong way.
Yeah.
The Bigfoots and Mopars is here with us and says, "Hello. How's it going there? What is new in your world?" Tim Burke, make sure it's not stolen. Brother, it's not stolen. He's owned the car since 1997. He's in the car.
And Jamie drove across Chicago at like midnight, so there wasn't any traffic. And
I did.
Should we tell the plate story, or should we just not tell that?
I don't think it's worth it. It's got a temporary Washington tag on it, but we allegedly photocopied it and printed it out in Minnesota. Tried to get a temporary in Minnesota, but it has to be in their system. So it's got a Washington temp tag on it. 2 Montana state troopers went by me. They didn't feel the need to have a conversation, and it's.
Yeah, they don't really pull you over for speeding in Montana. I mean, you got to be doing something really stupid to get pulled over for speeding in Montana.
And again, I actually did slow down a bit in Montana. I don't know. The car was happy at a given speed, so I just kind of hung out there.
Fair enough.
Yes, this is a very Vanishing Point-esque trip, but Rooster already said not to crash it into bulldozer or whatever. Actually, no, he keeps referencing Dirty.
That was a Firebird.
Yeah,
it was Camaro. Anyways, so.
Actually, no. What he said was, "Don't Dirty Mary Crazy Lariat," or whatever. He said I was doing Vanishing Point. I said I wouldn't close it into a bulldozer, and he also said that was a Camaro. I thought it was a Firebird, but whatever. It was an F-body.
I think it might be Camaro.
It doesn't matter. That's not the important part. Jamie Atwood, car farrier service for all your calamity needs. I'm gonna say in this video. Don't ask me to do this, but also do. I've actually offered to do it for people before. A good friend of mine was looking at a satellite convertible in like New York, and I was like, I could go over there and check it out for you and drive it back. He wasn't into it. I don't know why. YT viewer says, "Shoot, would have bought you a meal on your way through Eastern Iowa if I went the other way." Yeah. Yep. Danberg is one of the 4 people that told me to tell you to speak up, and I forgot.
Noted. I'll work on that because I'm very new to this YouTube thing. I've done a few videos, but I've just kind of recently.
I got the comments early on. People told me you need to speak up. I can't hear what you're saying, and so I'm a naturally loud person anyway. If you haven't noticed, but I was camera shy. I didn't want. The big thing was I didn't want people around me to hear me filming. So it took some adjusting to do that, but
and I understand that, but when I was on my last trip, I was in dealerships taking videos and stuff, and it is a little awkward if you're shouting in the back room, guys.
Well, you're not shouting, but the other trick is I'm here, close to the mic helps too.
Yeah.
So
that may be part of my problem too. So.
It may be, yeah. Yep. Stacy says the drive between Livingston and Butte is on my top 5 most beautiful drives I've been on. Rooster says it needs a 4-barrel. It could definitely use it, but the BBD is performing admirably, so I'm good with it. John Wilburn dropped in and said, "Hello, Dead Dodge Jamie. Hello, Rocket Rest. Hello, John. How's it going, John?" And I stayed at Rooster's Airbnb. The service was exceptional. I'll give you a good review for sure. And I totally agree, Rich. I have had nothing but the best of luck with BBDs over the years. I really, really do like them. I'm not saying that like sarcastically or ironically. I think they're really good. I had one on a truck. I had that truck forever, and it was just great. It was always good. I never had to touch it. Magic. Dan says that would have been a great road trip. I'm from that area. Could have shown a lot of cool stuff back there. Yeah, but again, it's just a matter of time. There's not a lot of time to do this. So
Jamie's got to get home. He's got a young kid at home, and
and they couldn't come with me. And even if they had, there's just no. I couldn't have done 700 miles a day. I just couldn't do that. So my daughter would have been punching me in the head. So yeah. Plus, we like to see stuff. So it's kind of I'm trying to treat it as a job. I stop and see some things and that, but I'm just trying to get home. And not break the car. That would be.
I've got something for Jamie tomorrow, so
maybe you got something for me?
Well, that wrecking yard.
Oh yeah. I got to stop in there. There has been a highlight each day, and this is obviously going to be a video. Thought about breaking it up into various videos, but I don't think so. I think it makes the most sense as one big video. So I'm kind of going to have a little mini feature for every single day. So the first day was the crazy trip to get there. And then the second day is Rooster's Place. The third day is Mount Rushmore, which is kind of cool. And then like a crap ton of driving. And then I guess I'm going to see a junkyard tomorrow and then Cannonball home. So,
yeah. And the opening was a little, so Jamie was supposed to be at my house at 8:45 to catch the flight. And of course he was late because it's Jamie. And then, and then we had to stop by the bank and do a couple other things. And then, so yeah, so you're supposed to get, you're supposed to get to the airport 2 hours early. So we get to the airport and it's basically backed up to the freeway. So, and Jamie's already like not okay with flying anyways. So he's getting all nervous and like, I'm trying to be like, oh, you'll be fine. Security won't be that bad, but it's midday on a Friday.
I had to check a bag. I've never checked a bag.
The only reason we checked the bag is because you had your spares and tools in there.
But I've never done that. And it's like, is it going to be there when I get to Chicago? And, and then the security line was like 8 miles long and just, anyway, it's fine.
He made it in time. We got there 65 minutes before his flight and he was at the gate 20 minutes before his flight. So it was fine.
Yeah. But yeah, it was something. So after the first 2 days, last night. So I got a hotel room last night and I already had an hour and 10 minutes of footage. There's going to be a lot cut. Anyway, it's crazy. Donnie, Big Ranch Tech, says, my current video has Cletus McFarland in it as a guest. Driving a 69 Charger across the U.S. has me beat 100%. I don't know about 100%, but it is, I feel like it's going to be a good video. I'm not like, we'll see. I think
although I've had this discussion with Jamie. So for those of you who watch my channel, we just did a big road trip back to Iowa and South Dakota and Kansas back. And I got 2 really good videos. I thought were good videos. We had one on a bunch of signs I bought. We had one on the kind of the death of the small town dealer. And Jamie actually helped me edit those because I'm not very good at it at all. We spent several hours one day editing them and they both did terrible. It was a little depressing because I drove all the way to Kansas to like get content and we put a bunch of effort in the videos and they did not do well. So,
and that's the thing. It's the same thing I've learned. Like just effort and time doesn't mean it's going to do well. And sometimes a good video with like just the title that isn't just perfectly catchy enough or the picture's wrong or for whatever reason, it just doesn't do well. And it's always disappointing. My Power Wagon video that went up yesterday, I was going to have a video ready for today, but it just kind of didn't happen. So my apologies, but I'm busy. Anyway.
You've been driving 12 hours a day, so.
So my video that went up yesterday, my Power Wagon video, which I've gotten tons of great comments. People love that truck. They're excited to see it. They're excited to see a guy as young as I am excited about 70-year-old trucks. It's cool. Super positive response. But I can't tell you how much time went into that and how much was cut out of it to make it a watchable video. I've done so much on that truck. It's been almost a year I was working on that video, and it is the worst video by views that I have released in months. It still got, 2,000 views in a day, but that's compared to where I'm at now, that's not that good. So it's just really dumb.
But you know what? You're someplace when your bad videos are getting 1,000 views. So
I can't complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that. It's just how it is. The stuff you put all this effort in, and meanwhile, my best video of all time with 260,000 views is that Meekum Charger video that I spent 5 minutes pointing a phone at a computer screen to make, and thought it was a complete throwaway. Like, this is dumb. No one cares what I have to say about this, and they told me that in the comments. But 260,000 views, 1,000 subscribers, and it made me $1,200. My word, I think it's one of the worst videos I've ever made.
And the 61 Polara video. I mean, that wasn't a throwaway video, but it's who knew that would do well?
I put work into that. I knew it would. It's a cool car. I knew it would do well, but I thought it would be running and driving. I thought that was going to be, and instead, it's absolute failure. But it's a cool car.
People like failure, apparently.
People like failure. That's the other thing I've learned on the channel. So that may be a problem. I might not have enough failure baked into this operation to make it a success. But
why not? So your Charger video is not going to do well because you can get stranded on the side of the road and have to call AAA.
Right. Exactly. At least AAA is getting me hotel discounts. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, but it's something.
Yeah, I don't know all y'all watching have traveled lately, but man, hotels are getting expensive. It's ridiculous. Like,
I have to say, last night was, I told you how much it was. Was it 150 in Rapid City?
Yeah.
$150. But the thing is, I'm an idiot and I'm booking last minute. I had no idea where I was going to be. When I road trip, I don't plan things. I just hit the road and figure it out as I go. The same is true when we're in the camper. The same is true when we just drive randomly. I mean, my wife and I have camped in bushes off the side of the road in our station wagon. Like, we just hit the road and go. So I had no idea. I had no itinerary. I knew how many miles it was and roughly how many days it would take, and that I was stopping at Roosters on the way. And that's it. So I didn't know where I was going to be. So I'm booking hotel rooms last minute and taking what's available. So $150 comparatively was pretty good. Tonight it was at 160, and it's like just way too nice for me. It's ridiculous. And there's an amazing view out there right now that I'm missing. Sunsetting and stuff.
Well, it's always tough when you're traveling too, like, because I travel to shows and everything. It's like you don't know where you're going to be. I mean, you can do it for the show, but like you know how far you're going to make it, or if
you got like landmarks,
or you find cool stuff to look at, and you want to stop. So you just never know where you're going to end up.
Yep.
And then but there's like you can either buy like a terrible hotel for like $75, or like you can get a really nice one for like 150 to 200, and there's like nothing in between anymore. It's crazy. Like Super 8s used to be kind of my go-to on the road because they were decent. You at least got a breakfast. You just got cereal in the morning. I mean, like,
I got a hot breakfast here.
But they built them all out 20, 30 years ago, and now they're getting pretty ghetto. They get in the worst parts of town. The hotels are bad. You get freaking bed bugs. It's like, I mean, I have pretty low standards for a hotel, but it's like some of those are pretty bad.
I have fairly low standards as well, but I'm definitely spoiled here. I'll tell you that. And they gave me what I wanted yesterday, which was executive parking for the Charger right out front. So that was cool. I do apologize for not minding the comments as well tonight. Obviously, there's kind of an exciting, there's exciting stuff going on, and we're kind of talking about that. But I will try to get to them. I apologize if I skip anyone. I try not to do that. Oh, Donnie got a top 5 finish. Their team got a top 5 finish and placed 4th. I think that's a typo. Open wheel modified. Nice. Well done.
Good work.
Steve Ash says I should do a top 10 list of the funniest comments I've ever received.
That would be a funny video. I don't know if you ever kept track of that, but that'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Not at all. But honestly, so that could go 2 ways, because I find really dumb, stupid stuff funny. So people like insulting me and that kind of stuff, I laugh at that. But most of the funniest comments have come from Steve Ash, and that's why he wants me to do that.
Oh, okay.
He's hilarious. If you ever see his comments, like at first I thought he was trolling me, or I don't know. Anyway, it's just its own thing, and it's pretty fun for me. So Tony Sears wants to know if I've checked out Harm's Mopar Farm in southeast South Dakota. I would have, but he was busy. Open wheel modified is the class. Thank you, Donnie. Nice typo. Brad was off in the mountains of Colorado, so that wasn't an option. I was hoping for that to be an event yesterday, but it didn't work out that way. Good evening, Kelly Smith. How you doing? Donnie says we knocked on wood and the dog started barking. Thanks for that. Sandhills RX Fire says, don't drink the water over there and eat a wop chop. What the hell is a wop chop? Yes, I'm taking time to... A true Montana treasure. Located just off the interstate, the Freeway Tavern has been serving the people of Butte lunch and dinner. What about this place makes it special? Okay, well, if they're open when I'm done streaming, I'm on my way, because I am starving.
Well, you need a 7-year-old to bring you a hamburger, apparently.
Yeah, I wish I had that service here. It's messed up. I mean, the receptionist gal was super cool, but I don't think she's going to bring me a hamburger. Wiggy says, if I may cast aspersions on AAA, after 28 years, we canceled. Twice we waited 24 hours for a tow recently.
That's brutal.
That is insane.
I know. I will say, I'm not the kind of guy who calls AAA to call a dead car home, but I wrecked a truck and trailer in Wyoming a few years ago, and it was like 150-mile tow to Wyoming and Cheyenne, Wyoming. They saved my butt. So
that's not ideal.
Yep. No, it's not.
No dueling guitars coming up, unfortunately, but there is a cool video of some slidey stuff. I will not be playing more guitar music tonight because I don't have one. And I wish I could have brought one, but going on a plane makes that difficult. Cal the Destroyer, this is on... Oh, crap. I don't remember what engine he's rebuilding. But anyway, rings are 35 thou at top of bore. Spec is 20 to 10. Just going to send it. I would. Halfway down the board, it's almost in spec. Well, that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Hone it and say a prayer. YT viewer says, people might not understand how stressful it is to go pick up an unknown to you vehicle and drive it 1,000 miles back home. Fun, but stressful. Honestly, I'm not that stressed. Sometimes there have been little moments.
As you mentioned earlier, he was more scared for the flight than the drive back. So
yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't do this, but I can, and I apologize for that. But I'm not saying it's a good idea, and I don't mean you. I mean the viewer, you. Other people, this is not a smart thing to do. Don't fly 2,400 miles to drive a classic car back. But we looked at the pictures of this thing. He told us what it was, and we just kind of knew it was going to be good, and it is. So yeah, there's little stuff.
And honestly, I was getting shipping quotes. Like, it's saving us a little bit of money. It's not that much cheaper with gas prices the way they are right now, but it's a really fun story. And Jamie's really wanted to do this for a while.
Jamie's happy. As low as gas prices are over here, I don't know. It seems pretty good. I haven't added up the receipts, but
I should do that. Although Jamie got a fraud alert on my gas card today. So.
Allegedly. Tony says, you've got your charger parked in a motel parking lot overnight. Please tell me this is not true. First off, it's not my charger. It's Tom's charger. So it's, it's not my problem, I guess. Second off.
Excuse me?
What's that?
Excuse me?
Second off, it's insured. Third off, I'll get home somehow. Do they have an airport here? Third off, I'm an experienced individual with the Mopar security systems. So that's fine. Last night, it was parked in a parking lot outside of a pretty nice hotel with staff in the office all night long. Actually, I saw police cruising through the area, so I felt pretty good about that. And I could see the car right outside my window. Tonight, they gave me executive parking right in front of their office where the receptionist will babysit it for me. So
most places are super cool about that. Like, they know, like, they're, there's some places that are dicks about it. You want to know how much you spend on gas? I just added it up.
Yeah. How much?
$555.63.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's coming in way under your budget. I mean,
that was $1,000 budget. I think it's gonna be under. So.
No, we're gonna be well under that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh, I have a gas gauge, but it's not accurate. Full is 5/8. It hits empty. I'm used to this because in my 68, it hits empty and there's like a half tank left or more. So that was the thing earlier where I almost ran out of gas because, okay, yeah, it's at empty. I've been X number of miles. I think I probably still had a half tank when it hit empty, so I should be able to go this far. No, I could not go that far. So I had to turn around and fuel up. And
so it's a third down, is what you're saying?
What's that?
Like when it's full, is
5/8 of a tank. Yeah.
Okay, so just for everybody watching, that's a reproduction setting unit. So anytime you put a reproduction Mopar setting unit in your car, it will read exactly that. So it means it's a reproduction setting unit. Like we actually have a whole box of original setting units here at Rocket. We generally put those in the cars because it drives me crazy when those aren't accurate. And that's just, there's nothing you can do. They make them all in Taiwan on a, when they originally made them, they made them off of Ford scale because the Ford setting units are pretty similar. But the ohm scale is a little bit off on a Ford versus a Mopar. So they always read like that. It's annoying, but it is what it is. So
lovely. I had a train of thought, but it vanished. Oh, Mike told me all the gauges read kind of low. So he actually had all the gauges redone or replaced with like new gauges, and they still read low. But here's the thing. I think the oil pressure is reading correctly, the temperature is reading correctly, and it's got a cool thermostat in it, and the gas sending unit is messed up, and that's why they're all low. Pretty sure. I don't have an IR gun with me. I brought a timing light. I brought a nice timing light. but I can't see the timing marks because it has the wrong timing cover and balancer. It's a newer engine with an older water pump, so I cannot see the marks. So I've timed it by ear 3 times and got it where I think it's close. It's been getting mid-teens miles a gallon, so
Yeah, somebody just asked you that what the miles per gallon, but it's been a little inconsistent, hasn't it?
Yeah. So the first, I did a short run and gassed it up, and it was 11.5. And then I averaged the next 2 because I didn't record the mileage correctly, and it was like 17.5 averaged. Now I think I just did the math wrong because the next one after that was 13.5, and then I saw 15.5. And that's kind of just been where it's hovering. So, I mean, I'm running the cheapest, crappiest gas known to man. That will affect mileage to a degree. I'm not 100% on the timing curve. Again, I just can't see it. I did it by ear. I've tweaked it a couple times to see if it made a difference. And that 15.5 so far has been about the best. But I'm also going posted speed or better and up the mountains. And
when you're in the middle of the country, that's a pretty high limit. So
so I'm moving, I'm making miles, and the car's happy there. I mean, it's just humming right along. But as we all know, that car looks fast. It's a beautiful design, but it's not a good design for aerodynamics. And it's not going to do much.
There was a good reason they made the Charger 500 and the Daytona after that. They were not good aerodynamics.
Every mile an hour over 55 just hurts your mileage. The car likes it. The engine's happy. But, mileage isn't necessarily the best. Oh, no support crew. What am I, chopped liver? Rooster was on standby from Chicago to his place, and he said, you get out of South Dakota, I'm not, you're on your own. So
I saw that comment about 20 minutes ago and laughed. So just,
Yeah. Nice. You said there were some good ones. Dan says, bet your arms are pretty tired. No, not really. Drives great. Butte, Montana's evil Knievel country. Yeah. How close is the Snake River to here? I've camped by it before.
You're not close. It's away. You don't get close. It goes way south of there. So
I was on the wrong side of the Mississippi. I've never been there before. That was cool. I crossed the Mississippi. I crossed the Missouri River, which was kind of cool. Also, so I picked the car up in Chicago, greater Chicago metropolitan area. But Mike lives like just a couple blocks inside of Illinois from the next one.
Indiana.
So he actually took me to a gas station to fill it up that was in Indiana. So I got to mark Indiana off the list too, which is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana. 7 states so far, 2 more to go.
Yeah, right? Idaho doesn't last very long.
No, not in that part, no. But it still counts. Dude, because I went off I-90, the piece of Wyoming I went across was quite small as well. But it still counts. Mr. PF Flyer just slid out from under a car that should just head off to the wrecking yard. Howdy. Only eat Wop Chops in Butte at the Freeway Tavern. Yeah, I found it. They had better be open. All right, here we go. I'm gonna check it out. Freeway Tavern, Butte. Hours. They close at 10. All right, I'm getting a Wop Chop. I'm excited. Oh yeah, Dan's in Spokane. That might be a good pit stop. All right, cool. Let me see how tomorrow goes. I'm trying to make some miles, but yeah, I'm going to need pit stops along the way. If the mileage works out, that'll be great. If it's looking like I'm not going to get back until super late, I'm definitely not going to be able to stop and hang out too long, Dan, but it'd be cool to stop in and say hi. There was someone else in the live last week that said they were along the way and, meeting up would be cool. I didn't get an email. I did say, email me if you're along I-90. And no one has done that, which again is fine because I'm kind of short on time. Scott Prado is checking in and says Butte and the Black Hills are great places to visit. I agree. I really like it. I like the area a lot. I'm having a good time. Mr. R. Hill, Bob dropped in and said, good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday fun day. Jamie, the old truck is such a work of art. Just having it running and driving is a beautiful thing. I totally agree. And I could have sold it for $10,000 on Tuesday, and I looked at it, and I looked at what $10,000 can buy me in our modern world, and I went, you know what? I think I'll keep the Power Wagon. But, $12,000, that'd probably. Anyway, no, I love that truck. It's magnificent, and I love looking at it. Driving it sucks, but it's pretty cool. I want it to have jobs. I don't know if it ever will. It'll probably end up sold at some point, but I don't like watching things sit around and get sadder. That is a problem.
At least you're working on it. You made some progress on it lately.
I did, yeah. I've got resources lined up for bed floor wood and fenders for the bed. My friend Mike, who's a brilliant fabricator, is going to help me make some fenders for less than the $1 zillion they want for reproduction. So that's pretty exciting. It won't be perfect. It won't be exact, but nothing on the truck is perfect or exact. Rooster says, oh, yes, if there was ever a place to lose a fuel pump, my driveway was the perfect spot. If you would have gone south, you would have had a bad time. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I could have found one down there and changed it, and I did have tools with me. But, yeah, I don't think it couldn't have worked out any better. I'll just say that. I'm really glad I went that way. And, Rooster, again, much like Mike, really rolled out the red carpet, just offered the best of, hospitality and helped me out. And it was just super cool getting to meet him actually in person. We've talked on the phone so much. I felt like I knew him. And seeing Rooster in person, it wasn't a shock. It wasn't like, meeting a new person. It was just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah. Yep. It was just cool. The problem is we're both, we see squirrels and we get distracted. And the plan was to roll into his place at 2 a.m., get some sleep, check the car out in the morning, and hit the road by 10 or 11. And I left at 3 or 2:30 or 3. I mean, the fuel pump, obviously, that's a problem. So we had to go get a fuel pump. And crazy enough, we saw a 68 Charger. So then that was this whole other thing. We had to go meet that guy. But it was cool. I got to ride around with Rooster. He made me breakfast, which was awesome. Country boy breakfast. That was great. So yeah. I can't thank him enough for that. It was super cool. And yeah, breaking in his driveway was great. It worked out really well. Avon arrives half an hour ago. David Bisnet says, I'm going by what you told on the video on showing the shape of the pen on the trans. Cars 68, Satellite Sport 318, Auto, PSNAC. Thanks for the comments. You bet. Dust Devil Garage says, you're driving across country in a classic Mopar with a carb and no reverse manual valve body. Are you trying to die? Did you guys know that every single... I don't have to do that joke anymore.
Nope, he's gone. Good riddance.
Don't put a reverse manual valve body in your 318 Cruiser Charger. Just don't do that. But I do want this to be like, and people have said things about fuel quality and aren't you worried about this and aren't you worried about that and the carburetor and elevation and the ballast resistor and all that shit. And I am excited to, and other people have done it. Plenty of other people have done it. But I'm excited to say, when and if I make it home in one piece with no major problems, this still works. Sorry, Donnie. The car still works as a car, So anyway.
People drove these things as daily drivers 50 years ago.
They were cars.
And you know what? They survived cross-country trips. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
They towed boats to the lake. Just ask Rooster.
Yeah.
Donnie commented, or he messaged me after the knocking on wood. Bitch! Oh, my God. Bell James says, the 904 in my 79 Cordoba works fine, even with the lockup converter. Did well over the Cascades and Rockies and several thousand miles since. Yeah, and that's got whatever the super, super highway gears are, too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm not getting the 20. Yeah. Sure. I thought 20 miles a gallon was possible. I'm not getting that. If I could get a little more precise on the timing, whatever. I'm not tuning the BBD. It is what it is. So. Yeah.
But yeah, 904s are fine. People drag race with them. It's they're fine transmission. As long as you don't beat them up, it's
That's the
especially
thing.
on an autumn, it's behind a 318. It's fine. Like they're great transmissions.
Yeah. Oh, and Mike did want to know, in the future, can you let me know why the gauge is read low? Yeah, I did. Of course, this comment was from a while ago, but there are my thoughts on that anyway. And I haven't actually tested the theory. We'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's actually just low readings on all 3 gauges for the reasons I said.
Well, and we'll mess with it. Like I have a factory gauge that like it's super cool. It's like this factory Mopar gauge. Let's see if I have it around here to show everybody. But it's a gauge where it's like this little pod with wires on it, and you hook it up to the gauges, and there's a low, medium, high on it. And that's the factory gauge tester. So, I mean, if I go to the fuel gauge and it goes low, medium, high, when I put that gauge on there, it's a sending unit. So I'm pretty sure it's just a brute pressure sending unit. That would be my guess too. But I said, we'll do some more testing when we get home.
Last time I saw it, it was sitting on your desk right to the right. So I don't know.
I think he got moved.
Rooster says, Tom's been here twice now, so you have to come once more to tie him. Yeah, that's cool. No, I mean, I know for a fact there are going to be more opportunities as time goes on. And I'm absolutely planning to get out in the world and do more stuff, as the channel grows and as I have opportunity to do that. So,
no name one of these years.
Dude, yeah, I wish I could do that this year, but no, it's not happening. Dan Berg just picked up a pre-dented 96 Oldsmobile 88 with 136K for $25. Yeah, it sounds about like what it's worth. I hate those things. Bobby C said the Power Wagon video was awesome. Love that truck. Nice job. Thank you, Bobby. I love that truck too. Ross says it's awesome. I agree. YT Viewer says the Power Wagon is freaking amazing. Please do not lose heart over great content that sadly people don't check out. No, and that's the thing. I don't, and I made it anyway, right? And I knew when I was editing it, when I was doing it, people aren't going to watch this. Earlier on in the channel, way back, because it had been a year since I put a video out on it, almost. That truck got a lot of views. People really liked it, but compared to the other, more Mopar ratty muscly stuff that's been going on, it just doesn't have the same appeal. So, and it is what it is, and we've discussed that. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do, but I am going to try and keep it limited to stuff that does work on the channel.
Well, and YouTube like actively punishes you for going out of your zone, which is kind of messed up, but like they do.
It's kind of why I'm happy I didn't put out a 3rd video this weekend, because neither of them did very well. And I don't think the one I was going to put out today would have either. So it is what it is. Bobby C says, also the 440 eating the cam was a pretty good video. I made the video as an afterthought, and because I started the camera, that's why the cam failed. That's how that works.
Yeah, we just got that. We got the motor for that wagon running last week. So the customer from Germany is visiting tomorrow, actually. So
I'm not going to be there to see him unless he's there really, really late.
Probably not. He's going to go look up at one of Trev's cars in the afternoon. So
Dan says we should all just have a barbecue at my place. Well, I do have a really big yard. I don't know. Probably not. But Tom offered to do it.
I'm thinking next summer maybe we do a thing at my place. I've got 13 acres here, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. Just have a big barbecue. I'm a little more centrally located as well.
Yeah, for sure. We got to get the dirt track ready by then.
Oof, don't tempt me.
Dude, you got rid of the big tractor. How are we going to do that now with the little?
Well, the little tractor has a rototiller on it. I mean,
okay.
The ground's got to soften up a little bit, but I'm game. I'm just not sure how to do it.
Yeah. Oh, and Rooster, yeah, same thing. Did a video short on the Duster when I got it. Got 2,000 views. My other videos flopped, and they had good content. It's not all good content, and that's the thing. And I've given you some tips on that too, Rooster. I've given Tom a lot of tips on that. I've given Donnie tips on that. All Classics Restoration, who's a regular in our Sunday streaming as well, and who was at Mo Party this weekend. And I wish I could have been there to meet him. He offered me a seat at I think it's the Mopar Connection booth, right? But I ended up just taking the direct route and cannonballing home, unfortunately. But anyway, I've given out a lot of this advice to people because it's worked for me. Not that my channel is like humongous now or anything, but it's working well for me. And it's just all about the presentation. It's all about there's just this thing, and it's hard to describe, but it has to have that appeal. It just has to look like a video that someone wants to watch. And it also has to appeal to your viewers. So you have to find your viewers. So, yeah.
I just want to thank everybody who subscribed to my channel in the chat. I'm up to 285. I'm really hoping to hit 1,000 this week, but we'll see.
You mean 985?
Yes, thank you.
You're not at 285.
985.
Yeah,
I'm 15 away from 1,000, which means I can monetize, which I'm not going to do right away for reasons.
That's
but I'd really like to hit 1,000. That would help my ego a lot.
No, it's cool. I mean, it's grown pretty fast for you. It happened a lot faster than it did for me. I might have helped.
Well, I had one video on my 72 Polara that Jamie shared, and it got like 55,000 hits. Like, it was crazy. Like, I don't know where that came from. Apparently, I didn't post more about cop cars. I mean,
dude,
that's most of what I own.
I've tried to tell you this. I mean, they do well. But yeah, it's just no one really knows. I have an idea of what works for me. It's a balancing act. It's all crazy. Anyway, Dan says, "Where are you now, Jamie?" Butte, Montana. Rooster should have a Mopar gathering. It would be really hard for me to get back to that, but pretty cool. And yeah, speaking of all classics restoration, how's it going, Jamie? Moparty was a great show. It did rain for a bit in the afternoon. Definitely put it on your schedule for next year. Man, I wish every single one of these events wasn't almost 3,000 miles from my door, because it makes it so hard for me to get there. It's just the time. Like, I don't know. I guess I could fly in, but like, if I'm going to do that, why wouldn't I take one of my cars? So yeah, it would have been super cool to go there with the Charger. That would have been something neat. And I heard Uncle Tony was there, which is like, dude, I almost went. I almost did it, but I didn't. And yeah, again, it's just a time thing. Yeah. Someday, I do hope to get out to more things like that. Very much like to do that. Rooster says, me, Jamie, and Donnie will provide the entertainment. Rooster's doing stand-up, but I'm old, so it'll be sit-down. Nice. Mr. PF Flyer bought a number of cars from Brad Harms years ago. How about that? Yeah, I haven't met him yet. I've heard all about him.
Brad's a really nice guy. I've been out to his place. I bought a trailer from him last year. He's got a lot of cool stuff. He's a really nice guy.
He and Rooster are big pals.
Yeah, when when the snowboard auction happened out here, he came out here with like a 30-foot fifth wheel and bought like half the Hemi stuff. He came home with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're right, Stacey. I definitely should have. You sent me a picture of it. I'm on let's do miles mode. And it was really important to me to get here in time for the live, which I did by like 33 minutes, I think. So lunch stop might have ruined that. I did stop at a Hardee's for brunch today. I've never been to a Hardee's. I had a burrito. It was fine. Kelly Smith would rather walk through 14 miles of broken glass and rattlesnakes than get on an airplane. I don't feel that strongly about it, but I would greatly prefer not to. I've flown commercial round trip once to LA after my wife moved back. We went down to visit a bunch of her friends and go camping, which was an awesome trip. But it was my first time getting on a plane, renting a car, that whole thing. And then I've been in a tiny airplane twice, and that's it. Dan says, stop in Spokane. I'll buy dinner. We have some good stuff to talk about. Well, yeah, I'll shoot you a message. Cool. We'll see how the timing works out. I really want to get home tomorrow night. I'm getting home tomorrow night no matter what, and I would like to get home at a reasonable hour. But yeah, if it works out, let's do it. Oh, John with the crew cab's calling. I have to call him back later. Rooster's trying to finagle a raise out of you for me. I already explained to him the situation on that, but he's still Rooster, so he has to do it.
All you got to do is finish that Challenger. So.
Yeah, well, it's almost done. Yep. Rooster answered that in the comments. Mid-teens. It's fluctuating a little bit. It was 11. It was almost 20, but I think it was bad math. It basically 15. I'm just assuming it's 15. I'm not calculating it anymore. I'm just getting gas and hitting the road. All Classics Garage, same thing. Reads like that. 3/4 full, have about 3 gallons left on empty. Yep, same thing. Yep, probably reproduction setting unit. I mean, a bent arm can actually do something similar as well. But yeah.
I've done that. It never gets it 100%, but it can help me. But thanks, All Classics, for the sub. Appreciate it.
Awesome. John just called me on the crew cab. The last go around, I had to change the float, and I bent the hell out of the arm in the reproduction unit because it was just stupidly wrong, insanely wrong. So I got it to almost sort of read.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead to Mike's comment. Yeah, that's awesome. The original sending unit. That one thing people don't really understand is those original sending units are tough. Like, it is hard to kill one of those. Like, sometimes you'll pull them out and they look like they came off the Titanic, and like you can't save those. But like, I mean, I've spent, Evan and I, I've spent a lot of time saving these sending units, and like I'll do everything I can to save the original sending unit because you can't see the condition anyways once it's in there. Like, I don't care if it's pitted, I don't care if all that. Like, I'll do everything I can to save original sending unit.
Yeah. I was actually going to say that earlier because you also, on the eBay, you carry the reproduction parts to recondition a sending unit, right?
Yep. I carry the float, the sock. That's all you need. Just put a new float and new sock on there and you're good to go.
That's what I did for the 67 Barracuda. I just bought those parts from you. And it did work, but unfortunately the line was loose in the sending unit plate. So it started leaking when my brother started driving it. So we just put a reproduction one in, and I'm sure the previously accurate gauge won't be accurate anymore. But the other problem is it roasted the regulator. The gauges were working when I first got it running, and while we were doing the brakes on the lift, I don't remember what the heck we were doing, but the key was on, and all of a sudden the temp gauge was maxed out, I think. Anyway, no gauges now. Got to fix it. Donnie says, please comment back on your videos when you have a moment. Old Jeeps, they're like go-karts for men. Incredible.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to catch up on that. I was at the beach all weekend with the kids, so
Rich Jordan says, do you know how much ethanol versus pure gas you've been getting? It's E10. Illinois ethanol gas always costs me at least 3 to 4 highway. They do have E15 out there. I didn't get any of that, or E14 or something, but it's E10. That's the standard ethanol fuel. And yeah, I don't know that it's 3 to 4 miles a gallon, but low octane ethanol, you're definitely giving some up. I mean, that's just how it is. So yeah, but there's no way, there is no chart of clear, non-ethanol fuel. There's no way for me to get that reliably on this trip. And again, like, yeah, it hurts the mileage a little bit, but
I know there's a huge debate on ethanol versus non-ethanol. I mean, I'll be honest, I try to run non-ethanol in my cars locally here.
I don't.
But I know you don't. But I do, especially my Polar and some of that stuff. And especially like if it's going to sit for the winter, I really try to do the last tank. But like on a trip like Jamie's, like, yes, you will lose some mileage, but the non-ethanol is so hard to find and so much more expensive. Like, he's going to burn through all that on the way home. Like, when it gets here, I'll probably put ethanol free in it when it gets here.
Run it. Yeah.
But like until then, it's fine. I mean, like the ethanol free is so much more expensive. Like the mileage difference is not going to compute, but it is better for stuff. So
yeah, for sure. I do appreciate you guys slowing down on the comments a little bit. I'm almost to the bottom of them. So if you do have any important questions for me or Tom about my crazy trip or just our general weird, not so Mopar guy lives, feel free to drop them. Donnie says, if you need a private pilot to get you somewhere out of there, I might know a guy. Good to know. Keep it in mind. That's your support from me. Mopar 73 Duster says, I didn't know that the shock tower on A body has a weld beaded to the inner fender apron. Mine's broken, causing the wheel leaning in. Wow, I have never seen one break. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Indiana, it's not a great design on that A body. It really isn't. It's pretty cheap design, to be honest. So
yeah, they're also really annoying. I aligned my first A body doing the 67 Barracuda the other day, and on the B body, the bolts are inside the engine compartment. So you take the little doors off, and then you're working in there. You can't get at it from the top really, but you still have more room to operate. The A body is fully outside of the inner fender. That design is just totally different. It's totally dumb. I hate it. Good times. I don't know if Indiana has better gas or not. Again, like, honestly, I don't think about it. I really don't. I'm a little more worried about it with my Demon, which is, it sits over the winter. I didn't have any problems this last year. I also ran it whenever possible. So it's not like it didn't run for 5 months. It wouldn't run for 2 to 3 weeks. And I'd fire it up. I'd take it out anytime the weather's decent. I don't have to worry about salt. I don't have to worry about anything like that. So if the ground is dry, I'll drive it.
But I will tell you, we have the engine run stand here at Rocket, the Mopar no cart. Or no cart or no cart.
Mopar or no cart.
Yes. Yes. And we had gas in there. We didn't run an engine on it for 3-4 months. And we ran that gas through and it was bad. And that was not, it was ethanol free and it was 4 months and it was bad. It wouldn't, the car wouldn't run on it. So the engine wouldn't run on it. So
I thought it ran, but just like crap.
It did. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times. But it's just sitting in a metal can. Maybe it's because it's metal. Maybe it had condensation problems.
Well, I think it's vented too.
It's a vented metal can, so that's probably a factor. Yeah. Donnie Rooster told Donnie to come get him in January. Put a cot in the hanger for me. No more winter, please. I gotta say, like I said, actually, you'll see it on video probably, unless I cut it. Going through the Black Hills, I liked it there. I thought it was really cool. I liked Rapid City. There's so much stuff going on there, but it didn't seem insane.
Sturgis is right there too.
And Sturgis, which is smaller than I thought. And I liked that stretch of the world. I thought it was really cool, and I could get used to it. I said that on video, but the thing I couldn't get used to is snow and salt. So I don't know how bad that is in the Black Hills of South Dakota, but bad. I assume they do it. So, that I can't abide. My sister says, I've been listening and not watching, so she missed David getting here and is sad. Got it. Rooster says, the funniest moment was when you say the boat collection and said, dude, you got boats. Squirrel, red charger, pitched the drag truck sideways to chase him down. It was a moment. It was good stuff. I wish I'd filmed the chase scene because I didn't know how that was going to work out. The guy was cool. I didn't get him on video. I got the car on video, and that'll stay in. But I did not get the chase scene or us sitting at that light going, "Come on, change, God damn it!" It was a stressful moment for me. Rooster can tell you this because I was already way behind schedule, and it's like, dude, I know this would be cool, but I have to go. The boat I woke up in the morning. I sounded like a dead robot. I walked outside because I had not seen the Charger in daylight yet. So I walked outside to get a shot of it and just kind of take in the glorious Prowler purple. And then I just filmed a little thing, and it was like, where the hell am I? Tractors, rust holes in everything, and boats as far as the eye can see. I'm at Roosters. Anyway, hopefully it's better on video. Stacy says, remember, you got a place to stay up here for our big annual cruise weekend. Oh, yeah. I need like a manager. I mean, I just can't keep all this stuff straight, but I would very much like to do that. My sister didn't know I was going until I was already here. No, you don't want to visit Chicago for family reasons. Chicago sucks. You don't want to be there. And I'm saying that because everyone has told me that. Everyone, and that includes Mike, that lives there and picked me up. So I'm just saying I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Our dad's from Chicago, and I thought it would be cool. I'm going there. I'd love to integrate some sort of, family history aspect into this, but no, everything said I need to get this car out of Chicago. So that's what I did. But I saw my first Great Lake, so that was cool. Tom, did you really have to wear that hoodie? UT Martin 87.
Goes Eggs. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I went to Gonzaga. I watch every game. Like, no apologies here. So I was going to wear a Rocket shirt, but honestly, I got home like 3 minutes before the live started, so I didn't have time to change.
I have my Dead Dodge Garage shirt. So I had the shirt and hat combo, which is dumb, and I think no one should ever do that. But I wanted to be, quickly, easily recognizable when I got picked up at the airport. And then I remembered that I'm in YouTube videos and he's seen them and he's seen me live stream, and it probably wouldn't have been a problem. But anyway, it seemed like a good idea at the time. And yeah, by the time I got to Roosters, that shirt, like, I might have to burn it. We'll see. Donnie's sending me, what do you, I'm so confused. Donnie, I thought you were going to bed. Whoa. Sold. Donnie's doing things. Good. Okay. Sold. Nope, wrong way. That's Montana. New. Wow. Fancy. Yep, that's an airplane. I know, because I've seen airplanes before. All Classics Restoration, got to meet Uncle Tony briefly. Yeah, a guy that messages me on Instagram. I don't have a whole lot of like friends that I just talk to on Instagram all the time, but this guy messages me on there, and he said he ran into Uncle Tony too. He was the one that said, hey, you should fly in for Mo Party this weekend. Meet up with us. We're cruising down there, and it would be awesome. And I was like, dude, actually, I'm flying into Chicago this weekend, and I could probably drive there. And then I did the math, and it just didn't work.
Really a shame you couldn't do that, because you would have had a lot of fun there.
And, oh yeah, but he also met Uncle Tony, and I was like, God damn it. Oh well.
Uncle Tony could have fanboyed on you.
Well, he did say I was his favorite YouTuber.
He did.
He said that.
You should have that framed and put on your wall.
Yeah, Uncle Tony's favorite YouTuber. But then his live stream crashed, which was the start of a couple times where I jumped into his live stream and then it crashed. And that one, when it crashed, it just disappeared. So you cannot go see him say that on the internet, unfortunately.
Dude.
Really sad.
Yeah, Ross, this is Gonzaga. They're in Spokane, Washington. I went to school there. So, yeah, it's absolutely not a Georgia Bulldog. It's Gonzaga Bulldogs. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rooster says, my sister's welcome anytime. That sounds complicated. Staffy pits are my passion fruit. I don't know what that means. POS 71. I don't know what any of that means. Okay. Trey has a question. What is your question, Trey? Michael Furlan said, yeah, that was an aftermarket sending unit. The original one is in one of the boxes. You cannot believe how many hours I worked trying to fix gauges. I know, you told me. Because they were all he refaced them, freshened them, and then replaced them with like modernized units, he said. They all look stock, but he said they read low, and that's why he redid the entire gauge cluster again, and they still read low, and he went.
I mean, I've seen voltage limiters do weird stuff, but like if they're all doing the same thing, like
he put a digital one on it, and yeah. Like I say, I think it's explained that way. Temperature is actually low, oil's reading right, and the fuel's in the unit. I think. Oh, Trey posted this question. Okay, I have a blown 5.9 in a 1998 1500, but I have a donor 318 from my old 80s Model T150. Will that motor swap work? I'm going to give you the short answer and the long answer. The short answer is no, yes. The long answer is it will bolt to your transmission. You do not have... I'll take the yes away because you're 98. Yeah. On the old school 318, you do not have the side mounting pads for the Magnum mounts. So I've seen people make plates that can make all that work, but usually it's to do something totally different than that and put a V8 where an LA V8 where a V6 used to be. But anyway, the mounts aren't going to line up. So unfortunately, you really want to stick with a Magnum block for that one. Also, heads, fuel injection, you'd have to give, even if you made mount brackets, you'd have to give up the fuel injection and run a carburetor, which is going to ruin your truck. Nothing will work anymore. You will not have gauges. I mean, you can leave the ECM in there. The point is, it is just so much more trouble than it's worth. Go find yourself a Magnum. A 5.2 Magnum, 318 Magnum would work. I mean, it's technically the wrong program, but it'll work. And it'll go right in there. The only difference is the balance thing. So flex plate, flywheel.
They're out there. I mean,
yeah. And what I was going to say on that is, dude, a replacement, if you have the 318, I get that, but a replacement Magnum engine from a junkyard or just out of a wrecked car, I mean, at least where I'm at, I can still find those really easily. They're not expensive. So there's an entire 5.9 Magnum and transmission, two-wheel drive transmission in a Ram truck at my local junkyard that I called dibs on a while ago, and it's very affordable. Bell James says, next year, when you go to Mo Party, you may stop here on your way. I'd cook you a country breakfast. I'm about 9 hours away. Cool. All right. I gotta, I don't know. I need like a map so I can start, drawing dots on it.
I haven't hit any dealers in Kentucky or Illinois yet. So maybe I could go out there and hit some of the dealers out there.
That'd be cool. I'm not so sure about Illinois. All the roads are toll roads.
Seems like it, at least around Chicago.
Yeah. Nice. Ear. Rich Jordan says, what are either of your thoughts on the solid state instrument panel voltage regulators? They work. Good stuff. Yep. Tom is all fancy and he just buys the fancy plug-in ones with a little status LED and it's just like way too easy. I've always done it the hard way. I used to go to Radio Shack and buy those little 5-volt limiters, which is technically slightly off, but that doesn't matter. And I would solder connectors on them and screw them on the backs of the clusters and do all that stuff. I still have a pile of them, so I'm still doing that years later, even though Radio Shack doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, it's one of those where it's like, I don't put them in every single car, but if one goes bad, I'll generally just buy the solid state ones. It's just easier because the old ones do go bad.
They do. They do. And I've learned this with revivals. They might work when you first start it. When you first start driving it. I've had this happen in 2 different Barracudas now. My 66 had been modernized to the three-pin plug-in one years ago. It was like down under the dash and it was plugged in there. And they worked great. And then I was in the McDonald's drive-thru and the gauges did this. And then they did this. And they never worked again. Same McDonald's drive-thru where my 66 Charger transmission stopped working. But not my 70 Dart Swinger. That transmission died in the Burger King drive-thru. Same McDonald's drive-thru where my 74 Dart sedan lost an electronic ignition module. I shouldn't go back there.
Can you do me a favor and not go through any fast food drive-thrus with the Charger? Because it sounds like you have bad luck.
Oh my God. I have a story on that. I went through the Wendy's drive-thru last night. I wanted to find a real cheeseburger, but it was 11 p.m. So I went to Wendy's in Rapid City. And I was sitting in the drive-thru for 15 minutes with the headlights on, and they started to flicker.
Oh, that's not good.
Sitting at idle, they didn't. Yeah, too low a voltage. Going down the highway, never had a problem. Once I got them aimed, I've aimed them twice. The second time, they're pretty good. But yeah. Anyway, that's my drive-thru story. I'll try to avoid them for the rest of the trip.
Rooster said he's tired and bushed. I can't imagine why somebody kept him until 4 in the morning.
No, it makes no sense. I mean, it's almost like you were on call for somebody like the other night and talking to them on the phone at 4 a.m., making sure they hadn't broken down. And yeah, no, it makes no sense to me at all. Plus, you screwed up your sorry, squirrel. Uncle Tony says, I don't know what you said about me, but it's all lies.
Uncle Tony.
How's it going, man? What I said was, well, his ears were burning too. Okay, I'm in Butte, Montana right now. I flew into Midway, Chicago Friday, landed at 6, picked up a 69 Charger, and I am cannonballing it 2,400 miles from almost Indiana back to the West Coast. And I almost went to Bowling Green. In fact, a guy that got a hold of me on Instagram, he messages me on Instagram, told me last week, hey, Mo Party's this weekend. You should fly in, man. And I was like, dude, I'm flying into Chicago. I could probably just drive there. And I started looking at it and I just couldn't be gone for the extra day. That was basically it. So I headed for home. Same and stopped at my buddy Rooster's, his bed and breakfast or whatever. And same dude that wanted me to fly in said he met you there. And I was like, son of a bitch. Oh, well.
Would it change your mind if you knew he was going to be there? Would it change your mind?
Mrs. Jamie really didn't want me to be gone an extra day.
It might have been 2 days, honestly.
It might have been 2 days. And you know, I mean, it's done really well. So this car was restored. The owner and seller is in the comments here. He did a nice job on the car and never really drove it. It had about 950 miles when I picked it up on the odometer, which was reset. 950 miles, and it now says 2,500, and it's going to say like a lot by the time I'm home. Yeah, cool. Tony says it was a great show. I know. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Maybe next year, Jamie. Maybe we'll road trip out there next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I've committed. I have said I would really like to get out to more of these events. The problem is they're all 3,000 miles from my door. So it's kind of tough to like get there with a car and do the thing. And I'm not much for flying. This is my second time ever doing that. And anyway, hope to see you there one of these times. Yeah. Mistakes have been made. But it is what it is. You know, I'm on my own program. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Never did I expect you would have been there. I typically dread that sort of thing. But what I was going to say is I did hop into your live before I went on, and you were saying it was cool. It was a good time, and yeah, awesome. Jealous. Should have done it. Oh, cool. He'll tell me his Midway Airport story sometime.
And Uncle Tony, Jamie's been trying to get a hold of you to do a live together. You guys got to get together one of these days. You got to
only emailed him 3 or 4 times. It's not a big deal. I now have deaddodgegarage@gmail.com, but I think I lost the password to it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, maybe. Dude, the
Jamie in a nutshell.
You can't have multiple fucking Google accounts on your browser. It gets all confused and mad. Anyway, my email is jamienoise@gmail.com, and you can reach out to me. But I did email you my phone number and everything. So, you know, you go in and you scroll back like a few months, you'll find me. Give me a call. Tell me your Midway Airport story. I'll be on the road 10 hours tomorrow. I've got time to kill. Okay, where are we at? Yeah. Yes, Uncle Tony gets priority commenting. You get whatever. Someday, I have it on good authority. We're gonna do a live stream, and I'm very much looking forward to that. All lies. All right. And on that note, All Classics Restoration says all the YouTubers were there except you. Yes, I'm aware. Back to this. Kelly Smith said, "You never know what you're getting from the filling station. Can be old contaminated."
Uncle Tony just said he'll go on the live now. Can you send him a link?
Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. This is gonna get crowded. Tom, I'm gonna have to bump you.
Am I gonna get bumped?
No.
It's all right, dude. I gotta put my kids to bed here in like 5 or 10 minutes, so I may bow out and let Uncle Tony take over here. So
it's in your email. It's in your email. Click the link. Do the thing. Cool. Yeah, but no, you never know what you're getting from any filling station, like ever. So that's always a possibility. What are you supposed to do? Just not get gas? I mean, yeah. Again, I haven't had any problems. The fuel mileage has been a little less than spectacular. But yeah. Okay, Donnie is going to bed. Stress headache. Yeah, that sucks, man. Get some rest. Drink a cup of coffee right before bed, as you always do. Talk to you tomorrow. If you have time tomorrow, Donnie, give me a call. Because as mentioned, I've got 10 hours on the road to kill.
Yeah, I've done that on the road. Like, you make phone calls, and like it really passes the time. Like, it really does.
No, I realized that from you calling me from the road.
Yeah. Like, I'll just randomly call Jamie at like 10 p.m. Just like, I'm on the road for 2 more hours. Just talk to me so I don't fall asleep.
Yep. And of course, Rooster and I always talk forever. So that has also been an asset on this trip. It really does help to pass the time. I'm allegedly listening to videos as I'm going down the road and, that kind of thing. My daughter video called me. Where was I? I don't remember. Somewhere it wasn't Minnesota. I was in the corn. I video chatted with my daughter for some time while I was in the corn.
In the corn.
In the corn.
There's a lot of corn out there right
Dude,
now.
there's so much corn. Oh, Donnie's back for the aspirin and ibuprofen. See you, Donnie. Talk to you later. Rooster's so tired he got the wrong emoji, and my sister's going to kill him. Nice. Yep, that. Ross says, the Wendy's drive-thru here is the perfect transmission tester. It's canned just right to test the fluid level. Dude, that's good. That's good. I do have to say, I did kind of mention it earlier, the 904 in the 69 Charger is just performing great. The kickdown's adjusted well. I do not have full throttle. I do not think the timing is right. I physically cannot see the timing mark, so I've kind of tuned it by ear. I've tweaked it a couple times, and it's doing okay. But, yeah, the transmission is magnificent. No problems. 904s are good. Donnie won't put an HEI on his 318. He lied. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess let me know what you're doing. And Amy Harville says, Jamie, you're welcome to come here for the 2024 Florida State Mopar Association show and swap in May. That sounds pretty cool. I definitely have to fly there.
Definitely a flight. You're not driving to Florida. Although there is a car in Alabama I'm trying to pick up one of these days.
Really?
Drive down there. Yeah.
I've never been to the South. I've been to Austin, Texas. That is the furthest south I have been. And going to Indiana, Chicago, this was the first time I've ever been on the other side of the Mississippi. So yeah.
So I've flown to Florida. I've never been to Alabama, Mississippi. I've never been down there. So
he's got to get Kathy to do it. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Get in the emails, and we'll figure it out.
If you're banjos. Oh, Lovejoy, I have a great. Can I tell my banjo story real quick while we're waiting for Tony here? So, I did when I was, this is 0405. I can't remember the year. They were doing a cop car reunion at Carlisle. So I restored my gold 72 Polaris. If you see my channel, ex-Watch State Patrol car, and I drove it cross country, and it was a nightmare. Like I just finished the car, like nothing worked. Like every time I turned the AC on, it would throw a belt. Every time I went over 55 miles an hour, it would throw a belt. Like I went over the Rockies this way. Like it was just a nightmare. So I actually met Galen Govier. Because I was friends with him online. You know, I talked to him all the time. And this is, 05. I mean, this is early days of the internet. And got the AC fixed there. So great. Heading to Carlisle. We're in West Virginia, like dueling banjos, West Virginia. Like, I mean, like deep West Virginia.
Our man's in the green room. Hurry it up.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll finish up here. I decided to test the car, get it up to 90 going down a hill, set the fan through the radiator, and had to get a tow truck. And the guy driving the tow truck had 3 teeth. I'll just leave it at that. So
nailed it. Hey, everybody, welcome to the live. This guy from Tennessee, never heard of him. Our very own Uncle Tony. And there's Uncle Kathy in the background. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
You're a hero. Oh, your mic's not working, I don't think.
Wait.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. All right, so we're out of sync. I'm hearing things that you said a couple seconds ago.
Oh, you've got the delay. Hold on. I'll turn you down.
No, it's like a crazy delay.
Well, if you go on the live on your computer, it's delayed. It should be okay on your phone, though. It does that to me, too.
Weird. You don't have the video playing still, do you?
I might.
Go close that. You got to close that.
I probably do. All right, hang on. I need her for this.
I love it.
By the way, Tony, I don't know if you know who I am. My name's Tom. He's not paying attention. It's all right.
This is exactly what I hoped for.
Like 10 different things. You shut the video. I got into the video. How do you get back to?
Oh, Tony.
Oh,
okay. There you go.
Wait.
Is it fixed?
Okay.
Is that better, Tony?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mild technical difficulties.
There you
Okay. Oh, all right.
Good.
We're in real time now.
Woo! Hey,
That was
How's it
weird.
going?
It was like, I would say something, and then it would come over like 2 seconds later, and then you would say something, and it was all.
Yeah.
Like,
I've done that.
I've got the live video on my
you know?
I have the live video on my computer right here. It's the same way. If I don't turn the sound off, you get a weird echo. It's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I sound okay now?
You sound great.
Awesome.
What's up?
So what's going on, guys?
Welcome to my humble live stream.
I love your
there's
humble
only
live
80
stream.
people in
As
here.
soon as I finish mine, every Sunday night it's a routine now. As soon as I finish mine, I come over here.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No, I
And
appreciate you.
for your hospitality on the live streaming thing. They were ready to break out the pitchforks and torches in your comments. That dude's streaming right now. And you were like, no, dude, it's fine. I definitely never intended to compete, but it is funny because when I was first doing live streaming, I was like, Sunday just seems like the right day to live stream for some reason. I don't know, you know.
We've been doing Sunday live streams now for 5 years.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them, man.
Yeah.
I've seen like many of your videos, maybe all.
I appreciate that. I've seen many of your videos, definitely not all, but you are well, okay, the camera's weird here, it's backwards.
Yeah, everything's backwards.
Yeah. You are my favorite automotive YouTuber. I'm not going to say you're my favorite YouTuber because there's a few guys that I want that have nothing to do with cars.
Yeah, no, I get it.
As far as cars go, you're absolutely my favorite.
Thank you.
I watch your videos. How old are you?
33.
Oh God. See, that's the thing. You have knowledge that's way beyond your years.
I get that a lot. In fact, so I'm driving a 69 Charger across the country right now. I'm in Butte, Montana. And the guy that picked me up, he asked the same thing. How old are you? And I told him, and he was like, I thought you were really young. How do you know all this stuff, man? And honestly, I started with bicycles, then computers, and then I just, like, we didn't have a car growing up. We didn't drive. But one day I saw a 68 Charger RT doing the, and then it was all that. And I went, dude, I had 3 A bodies by the time I was 18. My yard looked exactly how you think it would. And I was just all in. And I'm just, I love them. And so I've really applied myself and daily driving them for years.
You know, I so like not to get off like into the woo land, right? But sometimes you got to go there.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, very young, like 3 years old, 4 years old, I knew intricacies about steam locomotives.
Wow.
Right? I would see a picture of one, let's say, kids' books, right? Mm-hmm. And I would know the wheel arrangement. I would know, oh, okay, that's not right. You know what I mean? There's something, because I had like, it's hard to explain, but it's like just an inherent.
Yeah, a mechanical thing, right?
Of steam locomotives, which is something that literally, as the time I was born in 1962, that's when they were phased out.
Right.
So this was very obscure, arcane knowledge that I shouldn't have had, and I had a natural affinity. And to this day, it's still like that. If I go to a railroad museum, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I know that line, I know this, and it's like, I would not be surprised that at some previous, I was a railroad mechanic.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't be not surprised if at some previous incarnation you were a Mopar guy, because there is just no way. I watch your videos and I watch the way you are with these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, there's just no fucking way this guy's as young as he is.
Yeah. I don't want to brag, but I really do. I try not to do that. But I do have a grasp on these cars that I see other people that, they've been mechanicking forever and they just don't have that. And I feel really gifted in it, but I don't know what it is about Mopars, but they're just ones that
about you. It's like, that's why I like you, because I can respect you. There's very few people you get like Mopar icons, right? People, Mopar household names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see what they do. I see what they put out on television and on YouTube. And I'm like, you're fucking weak. You know what I mean? Who the hell, you know what I mean? You're fucking weak, right? I'm talking household names. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I never, ever look, when I watch your stuff, I have the exact opposite. Where if I had a question, I would reach out to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you seem like the type of person who's been there, seen it, done it, got the fucking t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I have. I've just managed to pack a lot of it into 16 years. Like I don't know, man. I just did it. I've just fully immersed myself in it, and they make sense to me. I have that mechanical aptitude, kind of what you were talking about earlier, where I don't know where it came from. I just, yep, this is how things go together. This is how they work. And despite being a rock and roll musician for over a decade and having terrible hearing, I can't hear when people talk, but I can hear, that ain't quite right. Or that timing needs to go here, or this is this. And I mean, I do this thing called the 5-minute fix, and that's what it is, where I just go, well, that's just fucking wrong. I mean, you don't have full throttle. Your vacuum advances run the wrong way. Your advances, your timing is insanely wrong. This is, good to go. I mean, I don't know. It just works.
You have an inherent feel for the machinery.
Yeah.
Not many people do that. And the Mopar thing, very specific. There's a design language.
Yes.
There's a styling language that I get it and I don't get it. I just had this conversation yesterday at the Mo party, and we were talking about because you look at like a 66, 67 B body.
Mm-hmm.
That is really the only true Mopar. Whereas before that, you've got the influences. You got the Virgil Exner, the pre-heart attack, post-heart attack, freak out Virgil Exner. And then, you got Engel comes in, and that 66, 67 B body, that's the Mopar language. And then 68, it becomes a Pontiac.
Yep, Pontiac styling. Dude, right. Someone on this Charger I'm driving, someone yesterday was like, oh, that's a cool Chevelle, man.
So, but that's the design language, or not the design language, the styling language.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a little convoluted, it's a little weird. But if you look at the engineering language from those cars, it's like, man, that just resonates me. Like, I go through these cars. Now, I mean, I'm 61 years old. I'm fucking with these cars since I'm 14, right? Like hardcore, right? Mm-hmm. And I still marvel at the things. I still discover new things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's how,
I still marvel at them. And I'm like, this is just pure genius.
Your thing the other day with the driveline center hole. I've seen that hole. I had no fucking idea what it was.
You never wondered why it's off center?
No, I know. No, I had no idea. I had never even thought about it. That's crazy.
Well, so what I do, and I still do this to this day, right? And I've always done it, is I back engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm sure you can kind of relate in some way, right? So when I've got nothing going on, and you commune with your machine, what I'm saying? You'll just sit there and you'll just look at it, okay? Yes. So what I do, and I still do it to this day, is I'll look at a piece of frame rail or a piece of whatever, and I want to know everything about this. They put a notch in there. They put a slot in there. They put a hole there. They put an indent there. They did. Why? Why did they do that? And so I back engineer all of these pieces to try to figure out, and then that offset hole always got to me. Going back years ago, because how many times you got, every time you pull a radiator out, well, you look down and there's this hole. Why is this hole there? And then eventually I realized that hole, because you're sitting down one day and you look at it and you say, that hole, I follow that hole straight up the
straight line.
Oh shit. Okay, and so on a B body, it went like that. Now I go look at another one. I look at an A body. The A body's a little bit closer. And you go, oh, straight up. And it's like, well, there you go. That hole lines up with the transmission tunnel. The transmission tunnel lines up with the center line of the pinion.
Wow.
So it's like, and so like these, it's just back engineering.
Yeah.
It's just, you'll see a little thing and it's like, well, why? Why did they do that? And then you commune with your machine, and then the answers come out. And
it's, I don't want to like fanboy too hard, but like I said, I watch like every video you put out, I watch, and I have been for years. In fact, one of the best lines I've ever heard, just take any piece of your car, throw it up in the air. If it comes back down, it's too fucking heavy.
I stole that from Sneaky Pete Robinson.
Nice.
Do you know who that
I heard you say it. No, I don't know who that is. I'm too young.
Pete Robinson was a drag racer. He ran top gas cars until 66, and then he switched over to Top Fuel. And he was actually a Ford guy. But Pete was an innovator. So he came up with stuff that was like really off the wall. he came up with a jack start setup. So what he did was he used a floor jack, and they'd bring the car out to the starting line. Right, this is before they did burnouts and all that. This is back when he still smoked the tires down the track. And a crew member would jack the car up, the back wheels up. He would let the clutch out. The back wheels would go, and then the crew member would So he had to run his own. So he actually did this at an NHRA national event. I forget which one it was. I don't think it was Indy. It might have been the Spring Nationals. They only had 4 back in those days, and it was immediately outlawed. But that was the kind of stuff that he would do. It was like out of the box.
Wow.
So his thing was small block Fords, and he liked the small block Ford because it was the lightest package.
It's tiny. They fit so much into that. I love that engine for that reason. It's just, you take the heads off and it's like, where did it go? It's so small.
I love the Windsor.
I really do. Yeah.
So that was Pete's thing, and he built everything was as light as it could possibly be, and that actually ended up because he was an innovator and he was a weight freak, and that's what killed him.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he eventually went to the Cammer because he just couldn't compete with a small block Ford anymore. So in '71 he had a Cammer, and he was working with ground effects, and he was using bicycle rims on the front of the car. So the ground effects pulled the car down harder than it should have. It seized the wheel bearing on the right front wheel. That locked up and steered him into the guardrail at Indy in 1971 and killed him. But that was Pete Robinson's quote. If you take a part of your car and throw it in the air, it comes back down, it's too fucking heavy.
It's a really good one. But what I was saying about fanboying is there's just been this thing in my development over the last years, watching your videos, and you say something, it's just like, oh yeah, obviously that makes perfect sense. And that's one of my strengths. Again, it's just, I take information from everybody. I'm just
the same thing.
All I'm here to do is steal your information and use it for my own purposes. But something you said was hot rodding or any of this type of pursuit is a thinking man's game. And It really is, because you're just staring at these things and going, And that's cool to me. I like it.
It's the puzzle. It's the challenge. That's why I like building off the wall stuff or working with things that this isn't going to work. This isn't supposed to happen. This isn't. And I like that. It's enjoyable. A lot of people don't get it. Like the message gets lost in between. There's a formula. Yeah, I could take this dart and I could put a 440 in the fucking. How many 440s have I got laying around?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But important that.
I'm working on a turbo kit for a Slant 6. Okay. I built my own Plan Z Tribute once, by the way, but it was V8 powered. So I'm working on a turbo kit for a Slant 6, and I put out the first video about it. It's been a while. I got to get back to it. But a guy in the comments said, I have a commenter voice. You've probably heard it. Why wouldn't you just turbo a 440? It'll make way more horsepower. No shit, dude. That's not the point. It's not the point.
Not the point. You know,
and any of this. I'm never going to be the fastest. I have a cool, my Demon is a period drag car. It was competitive in Stock Eliminator in the early 70s. Great. It's slower than a Toyota Corolla. I mean, it's just not fast anymore. It never will be. But it can be something special and unique in today's world.
That's what the whole. It's not how fast you go. It's how you
go fast.
Because ultimately, and I learned this in our top fuel days. Yep. Ultimately, the guy with the most money will always be the fastest.
Right. So why would you try to be that? Exactly.
Right. So you can approach it from that ego part of it, where it's like, oh, I have to be the fastest. Yeah. I will spend my way into whatever I do. Or you do it from the mechanical personal satisfaction. Yeah, I'm going to take this Briggs and Stratton and I'm going to get 4 horsepower out of it with the stock parts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and after doing it, like how many years of doing this shit, I found that there's really more satisfaction in working with junk.
Yeah,
especially familiar junk. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, you're probably like me. I look at like a factory cylinder head and I'm like,
yeah.
Come to me, Mike. You know what I mean? Come to me.
I learned my lesson on that. I used to think those Edelbrock aluminum heads, this is why I had this engine that I bought with them on there. Oh, this engine's amazing. You need these heads. These heads are awesome. It's worth the $2,000. I finally ported a set of just Smog 360 heads and put them on an engine, and it runs harder than that one did. And I went, oh, ding. I understand now. Things are starting to make sense. I wanted to say on building junk, my brother said, once my brother tried to insult me by saying, you just like to take parts out of a garbage can like Uncle Tony.
Yeah.
But then he bought your shirt, so that's why my Barracuda is called the garbage can Cuda. That was an insult from my brother. You like building cars with parts out of a garbage can like Uncle Tony.
Because that's where the fun is.
It is.
That's where the fun is. And the thing about yesterday, so I went to that show yesterday.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of people there. I'm a recluse. I'm a neurotic recluse. It's just my nature. I'm in the wrong business.
I know you don't go to many events.
I don't. I hit and run. I go. I do what I got to do real quick, and then I get out of there, wherever it happens to be. So, but I met so many nice people. I was honored to meet. I don't know if any of you guys are in here now, but I was honored to meet anybody who came up and introduced themselves. It was just awesome meeting you. Thank you. But what really bothered me now is that I was in a Mopar parts business full time up until
6 years ago.
So was that
6 years ago, right?
6 years ago.
You said that earlier.
I mean, nobody knew the value of Mopar parts better than I did, because that's what I did every day of my life. It's like dealing parts. I was shocked. I was shocked at the prices of things. Like, prices of typical stuff, things, intake manifolds, whatever it is.
You can't find it anymore.
Is very much in the parts business.
Yep.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, Rocket Restorations, Olympia, Washington.
Okay.
He is on eBay when you go to buy like little reproduction parts. Often you're buying them from Tom. And his thing is going all over the country to closed dealers, old dealers, and finding attics full of NOS. And
Oh, I need to talk to you, because I need to buy some. I want some old. I'm looking for old parts, bro. I'm looking for old parts.
There he is.
But what I saw yesterday was that in the last 6 years, prices have essentially doubled.
Yeah.
Prices have doubled. I could not believe
there's no more parts cars. There's no more cars to get parts off of. Like,
well, that's true.
Supply and demand. Like, you can't park cars anywhere. There's nothing left.
Yeah, there is no parts charger. Show me it doesn't exist. I mean, the ones that the Rust Monster have taken the whole bottom half of are getting restored.
Yeah, but now okay. So I'm looking at my duster in the backyard. Somebody spray painted the bezel black. Right, and I said, you know what? Rather than stripping this thing, I'm coming to the end of my life. I don't have the time to fucking devote to cleaning this thing up. I'm just gonna find a nice clean bezel, right? So I was selling those gauge clusters, right? $40, $50. Like,
that sounds high. I thought those were almost free. I used to have a pile of them.
Well, exactly. I used to sell nice gauge clusters for $40, $50. That's what they went for. Yep. And I'm not talking about 100 years ago. I'm talking about 7 years ago. Couldn't touch one for under $100.
Yeah.
And nobody was selling bezels, and none of them were clean enough. Like, if there was a really nice one, here's $100, right? I couldn't even find one that was nice enough at that price.
Wow.
So it's rough. It's rough. The prices are going fucking crazy.
Horde. I know you're well ahead on that game. I'm big on the mechanical stuff. I mean, any engine parts, and especially small blocks. They're my happy place. So any small block or part or head or hardware that I can cram in to the shed, there it is.
So Midway Airport.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was doing magazines back in the 80s, I used to fly all the time, right? And I always hated it. Always hated it. And anytime I ever got on a plane, I swore I will never do this again. Okay? Because to me, it's the flying tube of doom. And I want to be buried with my own arms and legs. And when death comes to me, I don't want to have to wait to plunge 30,000 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I am right there with you. I want to be in charge of my own destiny.
Right.
If I crash, okay, but
behind the wheel of a Charger, preferably.
I'm okay, and you've got insurance. So anyway, yeah.
So, but as a side effect of what I was doing, I was doing the magazines, and I went from magazines to bounce around with all these different nitro cars, and I had a bunch of them in the Midwest that I was playing with. There was a Mike Faze's Chicago Fire, Brett Wilker's Time Machine. There were several of them. And then we were running match races out there too. So Lagana would travel separately with the car, and then I would meet him out there because I had other things going on. So I'd fly out, do what I had to do, and then fly back. So, but every time I ever got on a plane, I swore I'd never get on a fucking plane again. So Midway Airport is like the most terrifying place in the fucking world. Okay, because when you're flying into it,
dude. Yes, I got it on film. You're like, there's shit right there. How are we not scrubbing this right now?
Yes, right.
Oh, God.
And you say no, and it's a little postage stamp in the middle of the friggin' time. It's like, no, right? This is just bad. So
yeah.
So I had to tune a car. I forgot which one it was. I forgot which race it was, but they dropped me off over at Midway, and that's where I was going to fly back to Newark, New Jersey, because I was on Staten Island at the time. And I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again. And it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I get on the fucking plane, and I'm like, no, I'm just not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going through the motions. I'm going back to the seat, right? Seeing myself, no, I got to get off. I got to get off. I got to get off. So they shut the door, okay? And I feel them start to taxi away, right? Pull away from the thing. And I stood up and I says, stop this fucking plane. And they're like, what the whole, right?
Yeah.
So rather, stewardess comes back to me and she says, what's the matter? What's the matter? I said, just stop the plane. You don't want to go another inch with me on this plane. Get me off of this plane. No, you're going to make it. I made enough of a scene. I was loud enough.
Now they're ready to kick you off.
They stopped the plane. They brought out stairs. I climbed down the stairs. I hitchhiked back to my buddy's place because it was before cell phones. They didn't have cell phone or anything like that. I hitchhiked back to my buddy's place. I got the newspaper. I bought a Chevy. It was like $350. And I drove back home back to New York. No plate on it, no nothing. And I was like, and that was it. That was the last. This is like in 1991 or 1992, and I have not been on a plane since.
You haven't been on a plane since.
But it was Midway Airport that broke me, man, because flying into that plane.
Dude. No, seriously.
I'm generally fearless. I mean, you can strap my ass in anything and send it, right? And the ride it can't possibly be crazy enough, but not on a plane.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. No, seriously. Yeah. Coming into Midway. Oh, wow. Everybody got bigger. Yeah. I was window seat. I filmed. I had to make an intro. I'm making an epic. It's going to be like a movie or something. Anyway. So I'm getting just shots out the window, different parts of the country as the scenery gets drier and shit. And I got a shot of a Great Lake, planes coming around. It's like, oh, wow, there's skyscrapers. There's Chicago. And then it comes around more, and then there's more. And then it comes around and that's okay. All right. This place is ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm still getting over that shock. And then we're coming in on approach, and I'm looking out the window the whole time going, holy shit, dude. I mean, I could tell you what all of these cars are.
Yes.
I could read the badges. Like,
terrifying. If you're not into flying, O'Hare was good. O'Hare was a cool airport to fly in and out of, but Midway, and that was it, man. That broke me. Broke me.
Good times. Yeah, hey, Jamie, there's a 69 Charger in Chicago that you can drive 2,400 miles home. You just have to get on a plane. All right, fuck it. I'll get on a plane. But it's only my second time ever doing it. I've flown once with my wife before to Hollywood, and that was fine. I slept. But
what do you think of Hollywood?
Well, she lived there for almost 7 years. So we were like dating when I was a teenager. She moved down there. So I visited a couple times, and she said you could move down here. And I went, For one thing, you can't have a fucking car. And I had 5. So that's a problem. And I'm just, and then later on, we were hanging out down there, and the weather's all beautiful, and everyone's in apartments, and we're hanging out playing music all day. And I realized this could never work. I mean, I have to be productive. I have to be doing stuff. I can't just sit around and, puff on a joint.
Yeah, vibe and
yeah. I'm not going to Coachella. I'm not like, the rooftop hot tub is cool once or twice. Okay. and getting ridiculously fallen down drunk in someone else's city. That's cool once or twice too. But no, it's not for me. And I didn't like the smell.
Yeah, I've only been out to LA a couple of times, and a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time was at Pomona. I had to go to Pomona, and then in between we did the usual sightseeing, you know.
Yeah.
And actually, I had lunch with Carol Shelby. No, this was the second time. I had lunch with Carol Shelby. He had just introduced the chili.
Yes.
Yeah, and he gave me.
It's great.
Yeah, he gave me like a little box of like, you know, a bunch of them.
Nice.
So I had a what was it that they were? They gave us, Shelby gave us the car to tool around with for the weekend. The CSX something, I don't know. It was a little front wheel drive thing. I ended up doing a road test on it for Cars Illustrated. But so, you know, you hear, growing up in New York, you hear all about California. It's just, everything's like larger than life, and it's Hollywood, and you know, and it's like, I remember driving through all of these like legendary places, and I'm like, that's it. You know what I mean? That's kind of like, it's like, it's small, and it's, you know, it's not what you think. You know what I mean? I was very disappointed by a lot of what I found in California.
You know, you're from an actual city. So I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in a county of like, I don't even know. I live in Aberdeen, Washington, where Kurt Cobain was born. Okay. And in the city, I think it's 20-something thousand. I can never remember. It's like 23,000 in the city and 30,000 in the county or some shit, or 35. It's not a very big place. So for me, just going to a city already is like, wow, there's so much. There are 30 restaurants here. You know, that's nuts to me. So I think that's a little different. But
yeah, you'd have a different perspective.
Yeah. Oh, it impressed, you know, the scale, and just, dude, I can drive across my entire city in 5 minutes, and it takes an hour to get to the beach. Like, nah, in Hollywood, I mean, which is, you know, 5 miles or whatever. Or it's more than that.
Yeah,
but
it's like you drive up the Pacific Coast Highway, right? And you're passing all of these like famous beaches. There was like Malibu. And,
oh yeah, I stopped at Malibu and went, okay.
Right, it's like that's the big deal. You know what I mean? It's like, I was let down. But like what I was impressed by was like, you see all of these. It's like almost every exit you're passing is a name of a famous. It's a famous drag strip, or it was, you know, where Keith Black was, or where Ed Pink was, or like there's every exit you pass is like a legendary name.
Yeah.
In hot rod.
And we're all there.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine what that was like in the day when you had like fucking, you had Irwindale and OCIR and fucking Lions, and you could actually hear the fuel cars from one track at the other. That must have been just totally off the chain.
No, I can't imagine it. I seriously can't, because my experience is I can drive 2 hours and get to an 1/8 mile local track. That's super cool. That's my entire. Oh, or we had 1/8 mile arm drop racing on an airstrip for a while, which
that's
is all
the future of drag racing, bro. It's all going there. That's the future of it.
Oh no, I know that. Yeah. No, I'm fine with that.
That's when I'll go back after it hardcore again. That's what, you know what I mean? That's when I'll go after it hardcore again. When that's left. You know what I mean? When it's all arm drop, no prep, back half, and then that's the thing. I'm there.
I do have a video of myself running a 73 swinger in Mexico in like 2012, and it's at night, and it had the classic Chrysler charging system problem. So at idle, all the lights went dim. I was revving it, and they would do this, and I'm sitting there, and in the it's stupid, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, someone says, "What the hell's wrong with his lights?" And then someone else says, the arm drop, the guy, Freddie, he was running the races out there, and he was like, "Anyone want to take any bets?" And you could hear me yell, "Why? I'm just going to lose." And turns out that thing was 2.5 quarts low on oil, and it ticked all the way back from Mexico.
Don't you hate that? You know,
no one there had oil. We're not talking about actual like racers. We're talking about kids in Hondas. There were 2 Novas though. That was cool.
No, but when you're driving home and you know you're at that slot, if you turn a little bit or you brake too hard, it's like
and you're 20 miles to buy a quart of goddamn $9 oil from a gas station.
And that's when you find the value of the small block Mopar, because they were forever.
Oh, it was fine. We called that thing Ticky anyway. My brother, he's in more videos now, but when we revived that car, it had been sitting in a yard for 8 years. It was my friends that he just kind of abandoned. My brother got in it and immediately just boom, boom, right to the floor, like just revving the shit out of it. And then it had a Ticky lifter, like almost, but then it would go away and then it would come back and then it would go away. But I know it happened right then. But anyway, my voice is ruined.
You're not saying very much.
Tom, that's Tom.
I'm just along for the ride here.
Tom is Rocket Restorations, like I say. He's the guy that writes me paychecks. So all of the nice cars with very rare exceptions.
His boss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing
Jamie works for me like 3 days a week and then does his own stuff. The other 4 days of the week.
All of the nice cars are at his place. And if you look behind him, there's like Chrysler dealership memorabilia. Like he has an incredible.
Yeah, this is an old DC like cabinet where they sold like performance parts out of it.
There's what's the diagnostic trophy you've got in there? It's a 67 Barracuda. I can't remember what that is.
Oh, the troubleshooting contest trophy.
Troubleshooting contest, yeah. He's got
When I was a kid, that was my dream, man.
Dude.
That those to be part of the Plymouth troubleshooting contest, because I was 8 in 1970, which was the peak of all of that. And that was like other kids want to be, I want to play baseball, or I want to be a fucking astronaut. No, I want to win the Plymouth troubleshooting contest.
I wish I could have been there. Because
you could have won that, Jamie. Definitely. I had like the fender covers, the troubleshooting fender covers. I have the trophies. Like I collect that stuff. They even give you like service manuals. There's special Mopar service manuals with the troubleshootings. If you won the contest, they'd give you a service manual after you won it. I got a couple of those. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool memorabilia. That's Mopar. That's like really getting.
How about the Chrysler Master Tech gold toolkits? You've got a couple of those.
I got a few of those too. Yeah. There's somebody outside. I don't know who that is.
I've never collected anything, but I love looking at other people's collection of the stuff.
Yeah.
I've gotten really into old signs too. I collect a lot of that stuff. I've been collecting like neon and plastics, and I got into that.
It's Crown Dodge that you've got the sign off of?
Yeah, so it's like a 16-foot Dodge off Crown Dodge from Ventura, California, the neon off the building.
If you ever see any of the videos where the Dodge sign is lit up, it came off of that dealership.
Okay.
We turned that on for the warm glow. And then, of course, he's got a neon. You have to have a neon. I got one of those.
You turn the neon on, it just makes you happy. Like, it's just this glow of Dodge on you. It just makes you happy. So
it seriously does.
I'm on a live stream.
Somebody gave me a neon Mopar sign. Yeah. I keep it at the shop over there, and I have like a room with a couch and everything. You just pull out. And the wall's like orange. So I'll shut the lights, turn on the neon, sit there and just chill for a little bit.
Dude, exactly. If I could put one in my bedroom to sleep with, I would, but
I don't have any memorabilia really at all. I mean, even my own magazines and stuff I've got just a couple. See, I keep nothing from the past. Kathy likes to save stuff.
You don't like looking at pictures.
Not really.
Pictures are just full of dead people.
They are. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not big on memorabilia, but Kathy is. She saves so many old magazines and whatnot, and I keep a couple of like just random service manuals because oh wait, what was the measurement on this? 16,000. Right. Okay, I forgot that. So I keep a couple of random universal kind of Mopar service manuals around. Yeah. Like the 67 Plymouth one is one I'm always referring to for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's always the go-to.
We have
even just torque specs. Like I don't have that stuff memorized. It's good for that kind of stuff. So
well, I do, but anyway, that's fine. That's not fair.
I don't have that kind of mind, unfortunately.
Well, I don't have the kind of mind for anything else. So
there you go.
But no, Jamie's amazingly talented. Like he had his own shop out in Aberdeen, and it didn't work out, and he kind of came up to me and asked to get hired, and like he's been great. Like it's amazing. We can just get like you know, a 70 Hemi that comes in here that's been sitting in collection for 10 years, and it's like in 5 minutes he has like everything figured out on. Like, it's amazing. It's like the way his mind works is just, it's crazy.
What are you gonna do when his YouTube channel takes off?
Give me a bigger raise.
Well, we've had that conversation.
No,
like,
here's the thing.
He's still gonna hang out with me when he's
yeah. Here's the thing. First off, I'll never forget where I came from. Second, I came from nothing. Second off,
and
we have like,
most of it.
What's that?
And I still have most of it.
Yeah. I'll write that one down. But we have this like weird symbiotic relationship because I have just such a great opportunity for content at his shop. There's just always amazing cars. It's the right atmosphere for it. And obviously he's willing to let me do it, which is awesome. Like, you can't just walk into
it's great exposure for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I've done a ton of jobs. The Charger Jamie's driving home.
Yeah,
the guy
came from my channel.
Live stream now. That's how he found me.
Yeah. So again, it's kind of, you know, it's symbiotic to a point. And the thing, and this is true, I don't have to work there. It's an hour from my house, but I really like it. And it's hard to find that. It's hard to find an atmosphere where, I mean, you know, we don't have any kids that don't know anything. We have actual hardcore Mopar guys. Like, it's just the four
of us. We're Mopar only shop. That's all we do. Like,
that's all we have to do.
I wish you guys were closer because I don't have anything like that around here. Like, I don't have any. There's nobody I can just go commune with. You know what I mean? Like, just yap about.
I don't know how many people do have anything like that around them, and that again to me is just like something so special. Like, now I'm serious about this. Tom and I have been friends for years, and it wasn't just like we were kind of talking about me going to work for him, and then my shop was closing. I was like, hey, so were you got a job for me? And actually he said, and I'm proud of this, you would work for me. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't even remember.
So are you going to keep your channel strictly Mopar, or are you going to branch out a little bit?
Well, I have it on authority that I should branch out. I've been told, you said that on a video once or something. Here's the thing, and you know how fickle YouTube is. When I do things outside, they don't do very well. Like, for example, we were talking about this earlier in the stream, actually. I did a video on my 48 Power Wagon. It took me a year. I mean, there's just so much stuff in there. People love the truck, but it's not what my core audience is looking for, so it doesn't get a ton of views. So there's kind of my problem where I have to be careful when I do try to branch out. I try to work on brand X. I try to do this. I try to do that. My people don't watch it, and then it doesn't go well. So I'm kind of still working on that. I did kind of put myself in a corner by naming the channel Dead Dodge Garage. And I've had people say, that's not a Dodge. You can't. That's anyway,
yeah, you've always
stupid. It's stupid. I'll do what I want, you know, and I've said that here too, and people have said the same thing. But if it's not going to help the channel, it's just like I got to be careful.
It's like, so from my perspective, it's hard. I try not to get typecast as a Mopar channel.
Yeah,
you know,
I know that.
Mopars are what surrounded
what you have.
But what I do is I use the Mopar as like the same way the magazines back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s would use the Chevy as the default thing.
Right.
So if they're going to do a camshaft test or whatever, they're going to do intake manifold comparison. It's always going to be in a small block Chevy.
Right.
So to me, the Mopar is just the default car. So this is what we're going to use to illustrate this principle or that concept, or you see what I'm saying?
Let me before I forget it, because I will. I've heard you say that so many times on video, I won't say it. But when you're watching my videos, you know that applies to other things. This isn't a special Dodge thing. This is useful to everybody. And I know that, but I don't, again, you've said it so many times, you know, yeah, it's a Mopar, but it applies to everything. I have a hard time repeating that, if that makes sense. A lot of it does apply.
Well, okay. Do you treat YouTube when you title your videos, right, and you write your descriptions and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Do you treat YouTube like a search engine? Because
I don't
if you
know.
don't, that might be where you're not getting traction with other stuff.
I have. What do you mean?
Okay.
Search engine.
All right. YouTube is not an entertainment platform.
Oh, no. It's the greatest repository of quick video format information that you can get.
Well, it's legitimately a search engine. Okay. And the algorithm is all about operating it as a search engine. So it uses the title, the words that are in the title, the first 200 characters in the description, and the Google crawler goes through, right?
Yeah.
You put a video up, the crawler goes through and it matches up those keywords with what other people are searching for. And that's
okay, sorry. I do some of that to a point. But most of it is I do some. I build some of that sort of thing into the description, but I don't do a whole ton of it, no.
All right. But I'm just saying if you do something that's out of the normal, your normal range.
Yeah.
It's like your views take a dump. And that happens to me too. I'll throw a video out there. It's like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is awesome. And it's like, right?
What were we talking about an hour ago?
Yes.
The more you think, God, people are gonna love this. The more you think about it, the more work you put into it, the worse it does. And the less time you spend on it. I don't know if you've seen it. I did a video on a charger that sold at Mecum last year. It was for me, it was a throwaway video. It was like people in the B-Body Mopar group were.
You want to tell me about it?
I wanted to make a video about it and point out what I saw in the pictures, which was terrifying. And I know you've done similar things where this is a car that's for sale and, whatever. So I did that. It was a throwaway video. I made it in 10 minutes. Most of my videos take a lot more than that to make. I pointed a camera at the computer screen. It's absolute trash. And it has 260,000 views. And that's my most viewed video by far. That's
exactly what happens with me. I'll plan this thing out. It'll be festering in my head for like weeks. And I'm like, okay, I gotta line this. I gotta do this. And it goes absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Just like, and you're like, how did this happen? And then I'll get something, just a whim. It's like, hey, let's, and I'll whip out the GoPro and do it for 300,000 views.
Yep.
Right. The worst, not the worst, but I did a battery revival video
with the welder, the stick welder.
Okay,
everyone was in there telling you it was fake.
I paid $23,000 off of that fucking video. We shot it in an hour, and it was like there was no planning. It was like, come on, let's just do this real quick, because it was like Christmas, New Year's Day, or whatever it was, New Year's Eve, and it was like, okay, I gotta get the numbers are down a little bit, right? So you have to throw something out there to kick the algorithm back up, And so we did this video real quick and. Boom, it takes off like crazy. You never know. And
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I have an idea of what I can get good, consistent views out of on the channel. I know what my people like and that, but it's just so weird how videos will do that. Like, Tom was just complaining again about a video I did on a Polara in his yard. It's a 61 Polara. I tried to revive it. The engine stopped turning. I think I actually know what's wrong with it now, but we're way past that. It wasn't a quick revival project. Neat car, rust-free, 61, right? 61 Polara.
61 Dodge Polara, yeah.
Neat car. Yeah. And for whatever reason, that one, is it my second most viewed?
I think so. It's 75,000 hits.
Number 2. The other one is the 34 Plymouth, which there again, like, it wasn't really my thing. Didn't think it, it was a cool video, I thought, and that one did really well eventually. But that Polara one just took off like crazy. It failed. I failed.
People love failure.
They do.
If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, it leads. So it's like I know how I can get 500,000 to 1 million views on almost every video. But it would require me going to the negative side.
Yeah.
Because so I mean, I do them when they come to me, like they land on my lap, and it's like a Kiwi. He'll come up with these.
Anything at Kiwis.
So those videos always do great. They always do great. But I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy. I'm fortunate enough that YouTube treats us well enough that I don't need to.
You don't need to be that guy.
Yeah. After that.
Yeah.
So when we do them, I kind of do them like more or less as a public service. And it's not just to get views, but it's just like to make people aware. You know what I mean? You're in the market for a car, right? You got to be aware, because look at this. You know, this beautiful car, right? That Cougar. Oh my God, that Cougar.
Yeah,
on that car.
I watched that the other day. I was like, oh my God.
Did
Like,
you see that?
and we've had cars come in here like that. Like, it's
Yeah.
Dude, I walked up on that car and I was like, my God, this is beautiful, because it was just the color in the sun, the way it was with the white and everything. I was like, that is just beautiful. And then Kiwi's like, that's the car. I says, what? And then we pull up on a lift and it's like, oh my God, right?
Oh yeah.
So when we do those videos, we do them more or less, I don't want to say it's a public service. I do them to get views, but also we do it from the angle of, here, this is the kind of fuckery that's out there. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bad. So my friend Ralph works over at this place, which I won't name now, right? He's got this Hemi Coronet.
The Coronet. Yep.
So what happened was they put a hydraulic cam in there, okay? But they kept the regular rockers.
Right.
Right. So the push rod length is it's got hydraulic cam.
They were buried, right? Were they like cranked? What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, make a long story short, he's got just valve train mix match issues, right? So I'm looking through there's got to be 50 or 60 cars like just right there in the shop area, and then they have in the showroom and everything. And while I'm waiting for him, I'm just looking at car after car after car, and they're all butchered. They're all, you know what I mean? It's like they're all flipper.
Yeah.
I could make 100 videos just off the stuff that's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
No.
I don't want to be that guy.
You know, I did that Mecum video, same thing, public service. And that's why I did it. It's just like, dude, look at this crap that's being passed off as, I mean, it's a Charger RT that sold for $170,000, right? Was it one? Is that what it was?
It was an insane amount of money.
It was a lot of money. And I think it was 170. Anyway, whatever. I just looked at the pictures because someone said, oh, that car looks like crap. It sold like for 170,000 and whatever. I'm going through the pictures and I find a compression fitting on a brake line. And it's like $170,000 Charger RT.
I've got compression fittings on brake lines. You've done it too.
I have not. No, I have not.
Come on, never?
No, never. Nope, inverted flare. I have never done it. But I know people do.
Well, I've done it to my own cars. If you go through my cars, you're going to find it. I know it's wrong. I know.
I understand. It is wrong. But tons of people.
Not on a car you're selling.
Yes.
Not on a car that's going to the general public. It's a whole different animal.
We both know there are 10 million of them on the road. I understand. It's okay, fine, but it's totally wrong. It's not rated to hold that much pressure. And this is $170,000 restored Charger.
Right. That was brake lines front to back.
Right. Dude, they look
it's
like
not that hard. Like, they make the lines. It's not that hard. And they're not that expensive. Like,
and there was a lot of other stuff. But, I mean, there was a ratchet strap under it. You could see the speedo cable was melted. It's a long list. It's a goddamn long list. But that was the point. It was just kind of like look at this. This is what you're up against. This is what you should be looking for, you know? And if you don't have a Tom, a Jamie, or a Tony that can look at a car for you, you need to be careful. Like, you know, pay that guy to vet what you're trying to buy, because
as long as you don't get carried away with it, it's the best of both worlds. It's going to get you views, it's going to educate your viewers, and that's the thing. Like when we started looking at doing YouTube, and it was really an afterthought because I want to do a podcast.
I remember.
Let's just try a podcast, right? So YouTube was kind of an afterthought, and so when we were looking to get into it, like seriously into it, the thing that always stuck in my mind, because you start looking at like, well, YouTube will give you all the principles, you know what I mean? Like what you should be trying to do, okay, with your channel to be successful. And the phrase, provide value, right? Always stuck in my head. You got to provide value. So everything we do, every video we do, I try to make sure that there's something of value somewhere in that video, So it's like those videos that we do with the cars that are all jacked up. You're providing a value. There's so many people out there, and it's always these older fellows who are usually younger than me, but they're still older, right? And in their 50s and whatnot, and they, there's the car of their dreams, and they get sucked in. They don't understand how much fuckery there is. They don't understand how the depths that these flippers will go to, to poof a disaster.
Oh, I mean, go to Bear Jackson, man. I know you don't fly, but like, go to the Arizona auctions. It's a shit show out there. Like, it's like some of the stuff out there. Like, I mean, there was a. I remember before they hired Dave Wise to like authenticate cars. I remember there was an AER Coupe out there that was built in like October, and had a fake VIN on it. Like, they didn't build those till March. Like, it was completely fake. Like,
I'm going through. This is like last week, right? I had two. I had one that fooled me. It was a pleasant surprise, and one that blew my mind. Okay. So I'm going through their cars, and they've got two Super Bs, two 69 Super Bs next to each other. And one of them is a really, really bad A12, like fucking knockoff. Okay. I mean, bad. It was a 318 air car. All the air conditioning and stuff was still under there. It was just tacky. It was just done like next to it was another car with Super B trim all around it. I look at the VIN to see if it's real or not. So help me, this VIN was hand stamped by like a kid. It wasn't even the right shape. Like it had rivets. It had rivets, but it was wider than a normal, because you look at a zillion VIN tags, you know what it's supposed to look like from across the room. You can see it, right? It wasn't the right width. It was too wide. The numbers were stamped in with like if you went to like Hobby Lobby and you bought like a stamping set. That's what it was. And it's sitting there on the lot. It's like
they don't care. They don't care.
I know they don't, but it's like how fucking bad can it? I don't know. The other, as I'm leaving, this is like yesterday. It was a couple of days ago, and I looked at the Hemi for Ralph, and I'm walking out, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a '63 Galaxy, and I love those cars, right?
On my house right now. Well, it's 64, but anyway.
Okay, well, okay.
I'm doing a video on it.
So I'm looking at the car from it's parked over at the end outside, like I guess it had just come in, right? And I'm looking at it from a distance, and it's like an olive green, like a dark olive green, and it looks like a Survivor. And as I'm walking up closer to the car, it's like, ooh, that's a Survivor. That thing's legit. It's real. You can even see that, like at some point, somebody had like spray bombed parts of the paint that were, faded and then buffed over that. So it was like a spray bomb touch up that was like 40 years old. It was like part of the patina of the car. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. No,
but it's an honest car. The bumpers are, a little so-so, and I'm like, wow, that's a Survivor. That's pretty cool. And out of the corner, I see it as I'm getting closer to it. It's got 427 emblems on the front. I'm like, ooh, right? It's a hard code car. So I popped the hood, and it's a 427 in there, and it's got the right intake manifold, the right carburetors, it's got the right exhaust manifolds. I'm like, holy shit, this is a Survivor fucking R code, right? And I'm looking in it's got a 4-speed in it, a nice, beautiful interior, original interior, but nice shape. It's got the 4-speed. And I'm like, I think I need this car. I may actually need to own this fucking car, right? I says, R code, wait, maybe it's a Q code, right? So I look at the VIN. So you know what a VIN is on those cars, right?
I don't know that.
Okay, it's on the passenger side. Right, so picture you open the hood, and here's the hinge. Okay, so you open the hood, and here's the passenger side hinge. And if you look right past the passenger side hinge, at the top of the cowl, there's a little tag of metal that sticks off of that. Well, that's what I put the VIN in there.
Okay.
And it's upside down because it's a Ford, and they can never do anything that's just fucking straightforward. Okay.
Yeah.
It's stamped upside down, so it's in such a way that you can't. You know what I mean? It's like. It had a V in there. So it was a 6-cylinder car, and somebody faked a Survivor 427 car. But they did such a good job, bro. It was cooler in every aspect of it. You look at this car and say, no, that's legit. That's real. It was a 6-cylinder.
I have to take a second to go to the comments. Obviously, this is a very special treat because the Uncle Tony dropped in with us, and I have completely neglected the comments.
Yes, guys, I'm so sorry. I forget sometimes that we're...
No, Tony, this is Jamie's dream. Don't worry about it. Not apologize.
No apologies. So. No, I'm just saying.
No apologies. To the people who we haven't been talking to.
No, yes. obviously we have a lot to talk about. But anyway, thank you to the 90 almost people that are still hanging out. That's fantastic. I really apologize for just neglecting the comments, but Uncle Tony's in the live.
I was supposed to put my kids to bed 45 minutes ago. I'm still here.
Well, and so, but this is why I put the comment up, not to usher things along, but just to say, I don't think I'm getting a mop chop or wop chop at the rate we're going.
Yeah, Tony, somebody recommended him a good restaurant in Butte, and they're closed now.
No, we're closing half an hour. We're closing half an hour.
We'll do this again some other time.
Oh, we got to do this again some other time.
Yeah, he's got to put his kids to bed. You got to go chow.
Yeah, I am hungry. I've been on the road for ever.
I know what that's like, man. Yeah.
I know you do.
Take a couple of quick questions.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, Donnie had a question for you because he saw you were dropping in. Where are you at on HEI on a Mopar? I did a video on it recently. I'm with it for a driver. What do you think of HEI?
It's better. It's more accessible than the factory electronic unit. So yeah, I could see using it. Me myself, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not that I have anything particularly against them. Now I did have a guy. I built a supercharged Slant 6 for a guy. This was back in when I had the Mid-South Mopars, right the year before I started doing YouTube. So it was in the parts business, was my primary thing, but I also had a shop called Mid-South Mopars, and we had done several cars that had come through. Not restoration work. I don't do restoration work, but build an engine, build a transmission.
Oh yeah.
Swap this, that, and the other thing. And I had a guy bring me a 64 Valiant. His name was Heath, and he got a Torque Storm supercharger. It was the very first one.
I've heard this story.
About the
Yep.
So set this thing up, it's running, it's great. He's daily driving it, and somewhere along the line he buys this setup from this guy named Slant 6 Dan. Okay, and it's an indexed distributor cap and rotor, and I'm like, all right, fine, this is your thing. And he wires in an HEI with it too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't think anything of this. He shows me what he did. I'm like, okay, car's running good. So a couple of weeks later, he brings it to me, and it's got a dead miss. And as soon as you give it, at idle, it's got a dead miss. And as soon as you give it a foot, the engine wants to jump out of the fucking, right? What the hell is that? And it really all the symptoms of a bad condenser, right? It exactly felt like a bad condenser, but violently bad condenser. Well, as it turns out, the tang on the rotor fizzed all the way back, so that the spark was any post guess at any time. It was just dancing around. And the only thing I can attribute that to was the HEI setup. Now he might have used a hotter coil.
Yeah, I was thinking coil.
Correctly, I don't know, but it overwhelmed the tang that was in that distributor, and I had never seen that before.
That's interesting.
That would make it one for the Plymouth troubleshooting contest.
What was that?
That would have been a good one for the Plymouth troubleshooting contest.
Yeah, bro, it killed the motor. It killed the motor. It pinched the ring lands in 2 cylinders.
Oh, so, Brewster said this. Yeah.
Perfect ring removed.
Jamie's excited.
It's a mutual admiration society.
I know that.
I watch this guy's videos and I'm like, fucking this guy's on. This guy's on. So
this kid's all right.
Mutual admiration society.
I have to say, so in a few weeks ago, I jumped in your live. I had a comment, and you said then that I was your favorite YouTuber, but don't tell Steve Maggs. And then Kathy said, at the end of this exchange, Kathy said, "Nah, shut up about it," which is great. And then your stream crashed, and when your stream crashed, that video disappeared into the ether. I wanted to frame it.
Do you want me to say it?
No, you already did. We're good. I got it.
I'll get a recording of it, Tony.
That's fine. No, seriously, you've been a humongous influence on me, and I mention you in videos all the time because I've been doing this for years, and I have a lot of things, but I take information from the best sources, and I've found that you are a source. You just make sense to me when you explain things, and I guess no one knows everything, but you know a lot, and you know a lot of things that I need to know. So
my brain is to pick. I try to give everything. When we do a video, I really go out of the way. I want to explain everything. I want to explain not only the parts, but how I arrive at a conclusion. And yeah, I try. I really do. I do try to make sure that it gets across.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it does.
It does. Trust me, it does. I mean, again, I don't know what your first video I ever saw was, but it's been years, and I've seen most of the early ones.
The Edelbrock carburetor one, probably.
Weight Watchers. Which one now?
The Edelbrock carburetor.
No,
I didn't know about an Edelbrock carburetor.
No, I didn't see that till much later, I think. I think I was in before that. I remember the Duster one. I was already in before that. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was I can't remember. I don't know. But I've been watching your stuff for a very long time. And the explanation makes sense to me. Maybe it doesn't make sense to other people. I don't know. But when you explain things, I'm like, yep, that's it. It's just, it just puts words to thoughts, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, it makes me feel good because this is what we attempt to do, and you're picking up on it.
Well, you added value. We'll drop this in. All we need now is Steve Maggs. And yes, absolutely. I wanted to temper that thing where you said I was your favorite YouTuber because the side note was don't tell Steve Maggs. Right. And I wouldn't. I love him. He's great. And I wish a speedy recovery to him.
Steve is such a great guy. He really is. Yeah. He's weird, man. He's weird.
He's a Mopar guy. Of course he's weird.
No.
They all are.
Weird. Right. He's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
But that just adds to who he is and what he is. You know what I mean? He's a really unique individual.
So unique.
He really is. Yeah. And
the model building. Yeah.
So I can't be specific. But so his sister-in-law is in regular contact with me now. So when there's anything that can be talked about, I will talk about. And the reason there's so much secrecy is that there are vultures. There's people. Like she was explaining this to me. I'm like, look, I don't need to hear this. Okay,
right. I get it. Privacy. That's fine. We don't need to know everything.
Here's the thing, right? And this is what I explained to her, right? And it's true. When you take on your job as being a public figure, okay, there are certain elements of privacy that don't apply anymore. So nobody should. It's what you do in a bathroom is nobody's friggin' business.
Yeah.
Right. But your general state of being is the general public's business because they get to know you, and if you don't tell them or give them an idea what's going on, they'll always assume the worst. So when you hear Steve is out of commission, you say, and it's secrecy.
Right.
People saying, well, he tried to commit suicide.
Right.
Or he did something like that. Because right away you think those things.
Yeah.
So the secrecy is not a good, at that level, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And be unspecified.
Something. Right.
Say something.
Something.
So, but at any rate, and here's the thing, I'm not religious at all. I believe in energies, I believe in things, okay, but I'm not religious. But here's the ironic thing, and here's something that's really like, okay. So I did that video. 24 hours after I did that video, Steve has been basically in a coma for 7 weeks. 24 hours after I did that video, there was a sign of life that hadn't been there before for the first time. I was very optimistic. I can't tell you what it was.
Right.
Because I told her I wouldn't be specific about it. But I can tell you that something profound in a positive way happened the morning after we posted that video. Wow. So all of the collective good thoughts, prayers, vibes, whatever people were sending there, in my mind is like there's definitely a cause and effect, because you go 7 weeks where you're just fucking flatline coma, okay? And then just out of the blue, there's a tangible, obvious, positive thing that happens. There's got to be a correlation. There's got to be a relation to it.
That's quite something. I'm not religious, but I do see the way things work together, and it really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm not religious in the fact that I don't want to.
Yeah, well, I'm not a joiner. I'm not going to wear a hat. George Carlin, I'm not going to wear a hat.
There you go, exactly. Exactly. There's something there, but I tell people I'm a radical agnostic. Not only don't I know, I don't want to know.
When I was younger, I was a real dick, and I intentionally claimed to be an atheist, and I've realized as I've gotten older,
atheism is its own religion.
It kind of is, and it's so much easier to go, I just don't know. But what I do know is what I can see happening, and you see these things, patterns and stuff that make no sense. So whatever that means, we're all bound together. We're all here in the swimming pool, and it is what it is.
Anybody else over here?
Oh, there's a zillion people over here. I'm trying to find more good questions or fun comments. Rooster's really excited.
Very.
He wanted, I think somewhere up here he said we just needed him, and then I'm definitely not getting dinner if Rooster joins.
You need to meet my friend David.
Your friend David.
Hakeem.
Okay.
I did a live with him last Thursday, I think it was.
Okay. I usually don't catch the Thursday ones. I'm never around.
Well, we did it on Wednesday.
What? That's even worse.
David, okay, so you're a Mopar guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Mopar guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, David is our god.
Oh,
David is the guy.
Yeah, he's amazing. I met him once. He's amazing.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, I met him once. He probably doesn't know me, but I met him once. Yeah.
David grew up in the Detroit area, surrounded by all of this stuff. The Black Ghost, David showed me that car, which was going to show me that car back in 1988. He's been there, he's done it, he's got the t-shirt. He would be a great guy for you to hook up with and do a live with.
Cool.
You will definitely enjoy talking to him.
Have his people call my people.
I'll have his people call your people.
I've been waiting
to get a YouTube channel started also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just, there's nothing going on in here right now. I'm trying to find comments that are like, there's a lot of crosstalk, a lot of people talking about how California sucks. I almost got arrested in California once for saying motherfucker in the vicinity of an ambulance driver. So pretty much I didn't say it to him. I said it near him. So I only almost got arrested. Luckily, when the police found me, I was walking back to my 66 Charger and I had a baby on my shoulder. So I looked, all right. But I got a real get out of my town vibe. And I did. And that's when I learned California is not America. And apparently most people were on board with us there.
It sounds like New Jersey, the People's Republic of New Jersey.
Yeah. Good stuff. Bell James is in Oklahoma. He went to bed a while ago. We are in Central Time, right?
Yeah.
I was there 2 days ago. I'd never been in Central Time before. Okay, I had to get home, but I almost went to Bowling Green, and it's just so funny that you were there. Could have met you, but
I'm glad we went. I'm glad.
Yeah.
We had planned to go. You know what I mean? But not to do anything there other than just go and see what it is. And they have LS Fest the week before.
Right.
People love going to LS Fest because it's just they're so creative. Those people.
Yeah.
People, so like they'd stick these motors in anything and everything, and I got the biggest kick out of that. So I went to LS Fest for a couple of years. Then I started doing the channel, and I went there, and I was like, "Oh, it's Tony." I was like, "Oh,
yeah, get off my lawn."
So we figured, well, we'll just go to the swap meet at the Mo party and see what's going on. But it turned out to be a really nice event. Very nice people. Next year you should try to make a point to get.
I'd like to do that, and I'd like to get out to some of the big national shows. I'm just so goddamn far from everything.
Well, the thing about the Mo party, and Kathy and I, we made the same observation. You go to a lot of these Mopar events. Like the last time I was at Carlisle, the last time I was at Carlisle, I was there for 20 minutes and I left. But the previous year, before YouTube fame got going, I was able to walk around and shit.
Yeah.
It was depressing, man. It was depressing. There's a lot of really old people. You know what I mean? And
that's been my car show experience.
Yeah. So when I say old, I don't just mean chronologically old. I mean old. Okay. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of 50-year-olds that might as well be 90-year-olds, right? Yeah. So it was old. It was kind of like it was weird, right? And I felt like I wouldn't belong there. Mo party yesterday, there was completely different crowd. A lot of young people, a lot of people your age.
Yeah.
Weird.
There are never people my age in this.
Never.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I was surprised, but yeah, there was a lot of people your age. Everybody seemed very active. You know, it was good. It was a really good experience. I'm glad I went.
I can't say never.
Credit for anything, but they put on a great fucking show.
That's awesome. Kelly Smith says everyone's quite content to just listen to us chat. Well, obviously there's 85 people here, so that's cool. I think that's referring to you. You always make great sense, and that's All Classics Restoration. He met you at Mo Party.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right, so let's you gotta go eat.
Yeah.
And I gotta go spend some time with my puppy.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, you know, I had a dog in my live, and you had a puppy in one of your videos 2 days later. So I'm just saying, like, you know, whatever. Just don't read into that too much. All right, it's been an absolute pleasure. Let's call it. Let me know when you want to do
this. Tony.
Yeah, great meeting you, man. Mm-hmm. We'll definitely do more in the future. You know?
Awesome. Well, you got my email address. Clearly, she found it. So if she,
see, I don't look at emails. I don't even know what the password is. I have no idea.
I know. I understand, and I'm sure she's got a lot going on.
She does. Yeah. She's overwhelmed because of all the shit that I won't do. So she's got to carry twice the load.
Dude, I know. I understand that completely. We thank Uncle Kathy for her service. She's a rock, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. But if she searches in the mailbox, my phone number's in there from like 2 months ago. I sent it to you, so
okay.
Or I'll send it again. Let's hook up. Whatever. Let's do this more.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll collaborate on some stuff.
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, that's Tony. I know no one here knows. So that other YouTube guy, that is Uncle Tony. He's got a little channel, and you can go check it out. And of course, this is Tom Rocket Restorations. You can check his channel out at Rocket Restorations. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subs. We're real close.
I'm 10 away from 1,000.
Let's go.
Oh, really? You only need 10 subs?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You got a couple.
I wish I had known. If it was earlier tonight, I would have got them for you.
They'll show up. It's
all
fine.
Good, man. Well, I'll get there.
All right.
We got time. All right, everybody. Big apology for skipping the last half of the comments. I really appreciate all you. You know, my whole thing is the interaction, and I value this time so much that I stopped driving early, got a hotel room with Wi-Fi so I could do this because I wouldn't miss it.
I can't stay in hotel rooms either. I have a hotel room phobia. I sleep in cars, and then I'll go in there and I'll shower in a hotel. But I'll sleep in whatever vehicle I'm in because I know what goes on.
Oh, wow.
No comment.
I don't need that energetic imprint in my life. You know what I'm saying?
I was on a road trip.
Beyond my sleeping in cars days. I like to think, but I was willing on this trip. But then I was thinking 69 Charger, nice paint, rest stop.
I just slept in the Charger as well.
Oh, I planned. I forgot to bring a blanket, but I meant to. But then I was just thinking, this is kind of a nice car, and I'll be in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, whatever.
All right, guys.
Wait for the video next week on Tony. Right. It'll be entertaining.
It's go time. I'm gonna go try and get a wop chop. Thank you so much for dropping in. Thank you everybody for watching. Longest live ever.
Nice.
See you next time.
Bye a lot.
Goodbye forever. Till next week.